Southern section CIF Prelims here. Top 4 teams from each meet this morning will go on to next week's. Got to be on the line there at the Southern section finals a week from now. Of course, for all individuals looking to qualify, they need to be in the top 6. Of course, if their teams do not qualify, they're in the top 6. They too will be given a spot right there on the starting line at next week's Southern section finals here at Mt SAC College.
Yeah, Desert
Our girls are right there on the starting line, moments away from kicking off the action here. Beautiful morning here. Tippers aren't supposed to get any warmer than they are right now. Of course, it's nice and manicured. Their folks here at Mt SAC doing a great job as always, making sure the course is safe and ready to go.
Should be lined up in order of the fastest people on the team back to the floor. Do that so that you don't have the fast people trying to That's a good idea. All right, now before we get started, make sure you do protect the mic. Yeah. Okay, now you start the man drill. At that time, I'd like for you to start the man
both communicating with aliens.
now,
The walkie-talkie.
Yeah!
Yeah!
Let's go, Cardinal! Yeah!
Good Heritage!
Yeah!
Don't start out too fast.
Don't start too fast! Yeah!
And they're off. They're kicking off the 2024 Southern Section CIF Prelims. Number 1 ranked St. Margaret's projected to move forward along with Thatcher, who's currently ranked 8th in Division 5. Sacred Heart of Jesus ranked number 9, your Camino League champs. And again, you folks at home, we want to welcome you all here this morning. Wish you could join us live, but the HD runners doing the trip here and the Southern Section here with us anyways. So beautiful conditions right now, 57, 58 degrees out there. Just watch our young ladies go into the first heat at Valley. Meanwhile, our young ladies for Heat 2 need to be checking in. Heat 2 for Division 5. You should be at the clerk of the course, race ready. Also, you can follow along our folks at Finish Results, the absolute premier timing company in the United States of America. They will be giving us live splits at the mile mark and the 2-mile mark, along with live team scores. Of course, most of you already have the app. For those of you that do not, you can download the app for free. It takes less than a minute, and you too will get live results right there on your smartphone. And as our girls go through that first mile, we'll have updated team scores. Again, top 4 will move on to next week's Southern Section Finals. Now, Jaslyn Couch of Sacred Heart of Jesus, your early leader, going to that first loop of Valley Loop. Valley Loop can be very deceiving. Everybody looks at it as the flat part of the course, but as Jaslyn and the rest of that group will contend right now, it is not necessarily flat. They now make that U-turn They're on that horseshoe there and now working their way down. So Jaslyn Couch, your early leader there from Sacred Heart of Jesus. Of course, her squad ranked number 9, your Camino League champions. Ivy Rios, the 9th grader out of Vasquez High School, currently in 2nd place. About 30 meters as she goes to that second down there.
Of the broadcast name?
AC Runners.
AC Runners?
Yeah, on YouTube. Yeah,
So Couch, continue to be your leader here. She's right there approaching switchbacks.
And she continues to open up her lead now, looking like more like 40 meters there. Great crowd assembled right here. This is the first of 4 heats for the Division 5. Girls, the top 4 teams are going to move on. Our boys will take on the stage after these 4 heats. So Couch is already making her way through that first mile. And of course, this is the full 3-mile course here at Mt SAC, not 2.93 as your old days would attend. 3 miles now, and they're going to go through the mile mark here right about 6 minutes. And so Couch coming through at 6:02, 6:06. Check that. Leah Williams of Desert Christian Lancaster moving up well there at 6:14. Rodriguez of Pomona Catholic at 6:17. Aubrey Eaton, state meet qualifier as an individual a year ago at 6'18". Avery Lieb of Thatcher also coming through at 6'18". St. Margaret's, your #1 ranked team here in Division 5. They were #1 ranked in the preseason, and they have maintained that standing all season long. They were the first team with 5 across that mile mark, with Sacred Heart of Jesus also coming through with 5. There comes Hawthorne Math and Science Academy with their 5th coming across the mile mark. So live scoring here, top-ranked St. Margaret's, your early leaders with Sacred Heart of Jesus, and there goes Thatcher with their 5th across. But right now, living up to the rankings here with St. Margaret's, Sacred Heart of Jesus, Thatcher, and Hawthorne of Math Science Academy. And Desert Christian of Lancaster trying to find their way into the top 4 here right now. They are currently 5th, but albeit only 1 point behind Hawthorne Math and Science Academy through that mile mark. But Jaslyn Couch continue to be your leader. She's approaching almost the very top of switchbacks. So we got a leadership change here at the top of switchbacks. Looks like Leah Williams of Desert Christian Lancaster, Brooklyn Martinez of Pomona Catholic moving into striking range here. Looks like Williams in our pole position now, currently in first, right there with Couch.
Hold Ivan, hold Ivan.
So Leah Williams now taking over the pole position here in the leadership. She is first place. She'll be coming down switchbacks right now. But everybody right there, our top 4 girls, only about 10 meters separating them, with Leah Williams, Desert Christian Lancaster, the 9th grader, making a bold move there at the top of switchbacks and now moving into the lead. And Aubrey Eaton, she was 4th here a year ago, 13th at the California State meet. Also right there up front. So Eaton now moving right ahead of the Williams. And Couch now making a move back into 3rd place. So those of you here at home, you can actually, you're at home on the computers, our HD Runners crew right there. You talk about live right now. You're going to have Williams, Eaton. Williams your leader right now with Eaton right there. And Couch, our early leader, maintaining position right there. She is currently in 3rd. But the 9th grader from Desert Christian Lancaster sat back just a little there, that first half mile, but now taking your lead, and she'll be coming across the crossover here. Williams, Eaton, Couch. Williams, of course, coming from Desert Christian Lancaster. And going back to our team scorings here, after that 1 mile mark, St. Margaret's, they held an 18-point advantage there over Sacred Heart of Jesus. And Thatcher currently in 3rd with Hawthorne Math Science Academy with only a 4-point lead over Desert Christian of Lancaster for that crucial 4th spot. No at-larges, top 4 teams automatically qualify. Eaton and Williams continue to battle. The 9th grader versus the state meet veteran from a year ago. Right now going up the saddle. And those that consider the saddle to be flat would challenge any of you to go run it yourself later on when the races are all over, and you'll realize that is a very deceiving long grind there on the saddle. Meanwhile, for race number 2, We are 2 minutes away here. They're on the starting line. International School of LA, your Liberty League champs. Linfield Christian, they were 16th here a year ago. Loma Linda Academy, Milken Community, Newberry Park Adventist, Sage Hill, currently ranked 7th. They're on the starting line. Santa Rosa Academy, St. Lucy's, led by Kate Burns, who was 7th here a year ago. St. Mary's Academy, your Santa Fe League runner-up. Temecula Prep, Trinity Classical, and Viewpoint. Viewpoint, they were 4th here a year ago. They are currently ranked 2nd coming into the action today. They are the Gold Coast League champions, and they're currently on the starting line. So Luisa Mendez, going back to race number 1 here, Luisa Mendez of Hawthorne Math and Science, making a great move here midway through the race. So our ladies in race number 1 approaching the 2 mile mark here. Eaton and Williams, meanwhile, Lieb of Thatcher and Couch. So Eden and Williams running right there next to each other as training partners, so to speak. Mendez of Hawthorne Math Science Academy and Avery Lieb all within 5 seconds of each other. Jaslyn Couch of Sacred Heart of Jesus. Nell Lieb of Thatcher now making a great move since that 1 mile mark. She moved up 11 spots there in that first to 2 mile mark. We'll get our team scores here in a little bit, but Thatcher looking very strong here. Great middle part of the race there, and now placed 3 in the top 7. St. Margaret's right now content to run together. Running without some of their top stars here, at least this weekend here. They have 3 in the top 11. So those in the stadium now, you look over to your west and away from the sun, and you'll see our leaders now approaching the very top of Poop Out. And our trio up front continuing to be Eaton, Williams, and Mendez. Those 3 have been together here for the last 500 meters. So St. Margaret's, they're your early leaders after the 2 mile mark. Sacred Heart of Jesus with 5 across as well. And Hawthorne Math Science Academy continue to be right up there again. Top 4 teams automatically qualify. And they will reserve a spot on the starting line next week at the Division 5 Southern Section Finals. So the experience of Aubrey Eaton, she's the veteran here of the group, representing Providence High School out of Burbank, and now she has opened up about a 10-meter lead as she cruises down the back into the saddle, cruising down Reservoir. So our leaders, they'll be coming back. They're going to be on the airstrip, and there she is, Aubrey Eaton. She's now taking that last left turn onto the airstrip. Luisa Mendez, very impressive race here, the young lady from Hawthorne Math and Science Academy. And we used to say they would have about 400 meters to go when they made that last sharp turn, but nope, we're going to finish in the stadium on the track. We elongated this out to a full 3-mile course here this year at Mt SAC, and they will finish 350 meters onto the track here in Mt SAC. But now Mendez. Eaton, Williams, Mendez lead. They've been your leaders all throughout. Right now, everybody got their eyes pegged on those top 4 teams looking to qualify on to next week's final. And Mendez of Hawthorne Math Science Academy in the blue. She's been bidding her time well, and she is going to come into the stadium first. She is now open up with about a 15-20 meter lead here, right in front of Aubrey Eaton of Providence. Eaton looking to qualify as an individual. Leah Williams of Desert Christian Lancaster. And Mendez continue to leg this one out. She has got about 250 meters to go. Eaton giving chase. That clock still right now only at 19 minutes. And Thatcher. They came in ranked 8th. They're going to put 3 in the top 6 here with 300 meters to go. And our second race now off and running. Luisa Mendez, the senior out of Hawthorne Math and Science Academy. And she's going to start things off here. Great weekend here. She'll be our first winner of the individual heats here, 9:55. .953.6 officially there, Miss Aubrey Eaton. She will move on to the finals next week, 20:059. And Leah Williams, the 9th grader out of Desert Christian Lancaster. She comes across at 2018. And here comes the very beginning of the Thatcher train here with 3 in the top 5. Very impressive performance there. Avery Lieb at 2023. Julie Lee of Thatcher at 2027. And Neil Lieb of Thatcher at 2032. Jaslyn Couch, she'll be coming across right now, representing the Sacred Heart of Jesus. And the rest of her team taking care of business as well. Couch coming across at 2041. Brooke Lors of Academy for Academic Excellence, 2046. And top-ranked St. Margaret's resting out 2 of their top runners this morning here. Heidi Bish, a freshman, coming across at 2053. Coco Johnson, her teammate, right there at 2052.
This is visitor cam. Where should I lock off my camera? Or are you going to leave it on finish till the end of the race?
But now all eyes pegged here in Heat 1 on those top 4 teams that can now book their reservations for next weekend back here at Mt SAC for the Southern Section Finals. St. Margaret's now with 3 in the top 12. Sacred Hearts of Jesus, their number 2 runner. Of course, Thatcher were already with 3 in your early leaders. St. Margaret's number 4. Coming across 2044. St. Margaret's your early leaders. At the 2 mile mark, the Hawthorne had a 25-point advantage over Desert Christian of Lancaster for that last automatic qualifying spot on the next week. Right now, it's all about our 3 mile split as we're still waiting our first team to come across with 5. St. Margaret's number 5 coming in with Thatcher's number 4. So our top 4 seeds coming into the action were St. Margaret's, Thatcher, Sacred Heart of Jesus, and Hawthorne. And St. Margaret's taking care of business. Their 5th crosses the line. And Sacred Heart of Jesus there with their 5th across, along with Hawthorne, Math and Science Academy. Those are your top 3. They were your top 3 seeds coming in. You're their first 3 teams with 5 across. In race number 2 here for the Division 5 girls, same process here. Top 4 teams working on. Our leaders right now are currently about to approach the 1 mile mark. But as we wrap up heat number 1 here, St. Margaret's, Thatcher, Sacred Heart of Jesus, and Hawthorne Math Science Academy, your 4 teams with 5 across. And Winter Pepper, your leader there in heat number 2. Zoe Jung of Viewpoint right there in her shadow. And they'll come through at right about 6:17. So very similar to what we saw in heat 1 here. As Winter Pepper, your leader there from Santa Rosa Academy. Zoe Jung of Viewpoint. Viewpoint coming in as the number 2 ranked team in Division 5 and your top seed there in Heat 2. Kate Burns of St. Lucy's. She was 7th a year ago, and she comes through right up the front as well. Our own Paraclete qualifying as an individual coming across at 6:19. So right now, 4 girls have kind of broken away from the group there in Heat 2. Viewpoint with 4 in the top 8. Again, they come in as a top seed. So unofficially here, these scores are still moving and fluid as our number 5 score is still coming across. But secure to say here, St. Margaret's has punched their ticket for the 8th straight year in a row. They will be going off to the CIF Finals. Thatcher, they too will qualify at a Heat 1. Sacred Heart of Jesus, they came in ranked number 9. They too will punch their tickets onward. And Hawthorne Math and Science Academy looks like they have qualified for the 2nd year in a row. As right now they currently hold a 22-point advantage over Desert Christian of Lancaster. Pomona Catholic currently in 6th and Santa Clarita Christian in 7th. Again, these scores are fluid and continuing to change as girls come across the line. But out of Heat 1, St. Margaret's, Thatcher, Sacred Heart of Jesus, and Hawthorne Math and Science Academy. And And Kate Burns of St. Lucy's, she was 7th here a year ago. The veteran of this course made a great move going up switchbacks and now has opened up about a 30-meter lead there on Zoe Jung of Viewpoint. Those two have separated themselves from the rest of the group here. It looks like Viewpoint's number 2 runner now moving into 3rd. So Viewpoint looking very strong early on here. 3 in the top 5 at the top of switchbacks. Looks like individuals moving on to next week's final out of Heat 1. Miss Aubrey Eaton, as we said, she was 4th a year ago, 13th at the California State Meet from Providence out of Burbank. She will move on as an individual on to next week. Looks like Leah Williams of Desert Christian Lancaster also in great shape for those spots. You had to be in the top 6 if your team did not qualify. And Kate Burns continuing to impress here and looking very good as she goes down, makes that U-turn of sorts here behind the stadium. And if you're right here in the stadium, you can look up to the east and you will see Kate Burns, St. Lucy's, all by herself right now. What was a 30-meter lead looks like a 40-meter lead now with Zoe Jung of Viewpoint giving chase. You got Alexa Jung and Ella Cast of Viewpoint. So Viewpoint now with 3 in the top 4. Kate Burns of St. Lucy's continuing to purr along here as she goes through. And Kate Burns heading over to the crossover. But Zoe Jung of Viewpoint, not letting her go just yet now, but Jung is very well supported with her teammates right behind her. So Kate Burns, she makes that turn there at the crossover and now heading over to the saddle. So going back to the 1 mile mark here in heat number 2. Heat 3, by the way, on the line. Viewpoint and Sage Hill very well positioned there at the 1 mile mark. Only 2 points separating them. St. Lucy's currently running 3rd, and International School of Los Angeles currently 4th right there at the 1 mile mark with a 15-point advantage over Linfield Christian. Loma Linda Academy right up there as well with Temecula Prep, but your top 4 teams at that 1 mile mark: Viewpoint, Sage Hill, St. Lucy's, and International School of LA. Kate Burns decided to go solo here over this last mile here, representing her squad from St. Lucy's. And now back on the dark side, as some people would say, on the backside of Reservoir. Moments away from Heat 3 kicking off the action here. Again, top 4 teams automatically qualifying on to next week's finals. Academy careers and expiration. Brentwood, Kate, currently ranked number 3 in Division 5. They're on the line. Chadwick has made the finals 26 of the last 27 seasons. They too, the Dolphins, are on the line. Flint Ridge Prep, currently ranked 14th. Pacific Christian out of Santa Monica. Packing House Christian, Redlands Adventist Academy, Samuli Academy out of Santa Ana, currently ranked number 6. St. Anthony, Valley Christian, and Woodcrest Christian, all right now ready to get going here in Heat 3. Meanwhile, back to Heat 2. Kate Burns continuing to control this race, and she came through with an 11-second advantage there over Zoe Jung. The Jung sisters, Zoe and Alexa, currently running number 2 and 3 for Viewpoint. Marina Hasme of Bridges Academy. She's qualified as an individual and trying to finish in the top 6 and make her way next week to next week's finals. So Kate Burns, if you guys look to the west there, you'll see Burns all by herself right now, escalating the top, that last iconic hill here at Mt SAC, our reservoir. And that 11-second advantage now maybe open up just a little bit there. Meanwhile, going back to the 2-mile mark, Winter Pepper of Santa Rosa Academy. She is currently in 6th place and trying to earn herself a spot onto the finals, where Flor Castellon of Notre Dame out of Riverside also trying to move into the top 6 and try to get in as an individual. So our young ladies in Heat 3 now have worked their way through the first half mile. Tallulah Murphy, state meet qualifier a year ago from Malibu, leading the charge there. Sarah Kim of Woodcrest Christian also right there. And Amelia Sarkeesian, one of the more talented 10th graders in the state of California, representing Brentwood. She was right up there as well. But now working her way down the saddle, and it continues to be Kate Burns of St. Lucy's. Zoe Jung of Viewpoint trying to close that gap there on front-running Kate Burns of St. Lucy's in that Heat 2 Division 5 girls. And now Castellon of Notre Dame out of Riverside has moved into striking range to qualify as an individual. She is 3rd. And Hashmi of Bridges Academy currently in 4th. So keep your eyes pegged, not just on those top 4 teams, but any individual whose team does not qualify and they finish in the top 6. Right now we have 2 individuals currently running 3rd and 4th respectively. And right now Kate Burns and Jung continue to close that gap there on Burns. And Burns, Kate Burns, she's been their leader all throughout since that big move she made on switchback. She has not looked back, and she still has what equates out to about a 25-meter lead here on Zoe Jung. Zoe Jung's been consistently right in that zone all race long, representing her young ladies from Viewpoint, our current number 2 ranked team in Division 5. And so in Heat 3 of Division 5, our fastest mile yet this morning, Sarah Kim of Woodcrest Christian, she leads that group there at 6:03. And Zoe Jung continue to close that gap. Starting to run out of real estate here. We want to say congratulations to Kate Burns. You have 50 meters to go there representing St. Lucy's. And she's going to be right there around 20 minutes. Burns and Jung, St. Lucy's and Viewpoint already punching their tickets onward in this battle here for individuals to move on. That is Hashmi, Marina Hashmi of Bridges Academy in the white over the blue, going right past Castellan of Notre Dame Riverside. But these two will qualify as individuals. Congratulations. You got one more week left, young ladies, as you too have made it on to the finals. Put our focus back on the top 4 teams moving on here in Heat 2. At that 2-mile mark, Viewpoint really opening up their lead there, of course, ahead of St. Lucy's and Sage Hill, and Linfield Christian looking to punch their ticket on for another final here. They were just ahead of International School of LA by 12 points. So that was at the 2-mile mark. We're now here at the 3-mile mark. Kate Burns, your winner at 20:05. But Marina Hashmi of Bridges Academy and Flor Castellan of Notre Dame Riverside, they both move on as individuals. So at that 2-mile mark, going back here in Heat 2, Division 5 girls, St. Lucy's had a 1-point advantage over Sage Hill. It's all academic at this point. It's all only thing that you consider is finishing to the top 4 today and then moving forward on to next week. As of the case in all divisions, top 16 teams will move on to the CIF Finals next week. A very impressive race here for the young ladies from Viewpoint. Viewpoint only held a 2-point advantage at the mile, and they elongated that out to a 34-point advantage by the 2-mile. Dylan Drizwicki of Linfield Christian coming in 7th. Winner Pepper of Santa Rosa Academy in 8th. The winner, though, of course, Kate Burns, St. Lucy's at 20:05. So our leaders in Heat 3, that's Sarkeesian of Brentwood, Sarah Kim of Woodcrest Christian, content to sit right next to each other and work well together as they're going to go up the saddle. And at that mile mark, top seeded in that Heat 3 is Kate High School, ranked 3rd overall for Division 5. But Kate, Woodcrest Christian, Chadwick, and Samulia Academy, they were your top 4 teams at the 1 mile mark. Flint Ridge Prep currently occupying that 5th spot. But Kate with a very comfortable lead there after 1 mile, 29-point advantage there. Tulu Murphy of Malibu, Amelia Kaufman of Flint Ridge Prep, Fatima Martinez of St. Pius. Also some of your top girls right up there. But right now, going up the saddle, it is Kim and Sarkeesian. Sarkeesian, one of the favorites for the CIF individual title next week, representing Brentwood. And Sarah Kim from Woodcrest Christian trying to get her girls to qualify and advance on to next week. She is your current leader as they go to the back part of the course below or behind Reservoir. In Heat 2, here Viewpoint, they have qualified. They're your number 2 ranked team. No surprises there. St. Lucy's right now, again, these scores are fluid. St. Lucy's holding a 2-point advantage over Linfield Christian. International School of Los Angeles coming up big there on that 3rd mile. They currently only have a 2-point advantage on Sage Hill. And so some surprises here, which could be here in Heat 2, Division 5 girls. But again, these are unofficial results. Everything's still moving as we speak here. But right now, Viewpoint, St. Lucy's, and Linfield Christian in a very tight race. So only 8 points separating 2nd place and 5th place. Of course, only 4 qualify onward. So some interesting developments here in Heat 2 as girls are still crossing the line. Viewpoint can definitely cross their they know they're coming in next weekend. Linfield Christian now with a 1-point advantage over St. Lucy's, who only has a 5-point advantage over Sage Hill. Going back to Heat 3 here, or Heat 3 Division 5 girls, Kim and Sarkeesian continuing to maintain a huge lead there in the back part of the course there across the 2-mile mark. Kim Sarkeesian coming through at 12:48, 2 of the fastest times we've had this morning. Murphy of Malibu coming through at 13:19. Kaufman of Flint Ridge Prep at 13:33. Kate, they're a first squad there with 5 across the line. In that Heat 3 Division 5 girls, Francesca Such of Kate leading the charge there for her crew, currently coming in as a top seed for that heat. But things starting to settle down here in Heat 2. But right now, Viewpoint, your winners at 47 points. St. Lucy's with a 1-point advantage over Linfield Christian, 90-91. In 4th place right now, Sage Hill sitting at 96 points. 2 points ahead of International School of LA, 96-98. So coming all the way down to the wire there in Heat 2 for our last four teams to qualify in that race. Again, these are unofficial results. We're going by what our folks at Finish Results are provided for us right now. Sage Hill looking like they're going to hold on to that last spot there, 96-98. So Sarkeesian taking over here in the latter part of the course in Heat 3. Meanwhile, Heat 4, our final section of Division 4 girls this morning. They are going through Valley Loop right now. Again, 2 races going on at the same time here, kind of a head on a swivel, so to speak. And we go to Heat 3, going back to Heat 3. At that 2 mile mark, Kate with a pretty commanding lead there over Woodcrest Christian and Chadwick. And Flint Ridge Prep and Samuli Academy battling out. So nail-biting time here for that last mile in Heat 3. Only 3 points separating our 4th and 5th squads. They being Flint Ridge Prep and Samuli Academy. Woodcrest Christian trying to break into the party here. They are currently in 2nd place at the 2 mile mark in Heat 3. Amelia Sarkeesian. So Sarkeesian, as a 9th grader a year ago, she was 8th place overall last year, 24th at the state meet, but she has been in an absolute zone here in 2024. Not even close to redlining from what we can see here with about 300 meters to go, and currently that clock at and she's currently at 18:30. So we have yet to see a young lady break 19, and Sarkeesian seemingly cruising here, and she will be under 19. Sarah Kim of Woodcrest Christian, very impressive performance here. The young lady out of Riverside, and she comes across with only 200 meters to go. She's at 18:45. She'll have one of the faster times in our early morning session here for the Division 5 girls. But Amelia Sarkeesian, the sophomore out of Brentwood, right at 19 minutes there for Sarkeesian from Brentwood. So you can see these girls have definitely opened things up. There's about a 200-meter advantage here between 2nd and 3rd place.
Make sure that you have a full body. And the most important thing is that you get her whole body crossing
So Sarkeesian's official time there at 19.3. Sarah Kim at 19:29. So going back at the 2 mile mark with less than 1 mile to go, only 4 points separating our last qualifier, Flint Ridge Prep, with a 4-point advantage over Samuli Academy. Kate, Woodcrest Christian, and Chadwick pretty comfortable there. Again, that's with only about a mile to go though. This is Tallulah Murphy of Malibu. She was a state meet qualifier a year ago. You'll see her brother compete for her school course momentarily, as we are moments away from our Division 5 boys taking onto the stage. And our first heat for Division 5 boys should be checking in.
Then yeah, just keep it on there now. Since there are more runners. Perfect. Yeah, and then you can zoom back. Yeah, just gonna pass them a little bit. And if they're, if you can't get there too much in time, like in that moment, you can kind of keep it wide. But if they're like really far, like that person that's coming in around the corner, you can go get them. Yeah, no worries. It's just practice, right? You get better.
So Murphy, she will move on as an individual once again. We've got Kaufman of Flint Ridge Prep finishing 4th there at 2025. Such of Kate at 2027. Vajiko of Calvary Chapel, Santa Ana in that 6th spot, trying to make it on as an individual. She runs 2029. Kiko Chanan of Chadwick at 2039. Sophie Blink of Kate at 2041. Right now, again, watching the scoreboard here, there was only 4 points separating our last qualifying teams. That battle between Flint Ridge Prep and Samueli Academy, going to come down to the wire here over that last half mile.
It seemed like a little bit like, hey, why are we doing this? It's just kind of, it keeps the viewer active. Yeah, right? So, just, yeah, you're going to show it really makes it a little bit cross that line. Just because, again, it's just part of the.
In our final section here of the Division 5 girls, Cantwell Sacred Heart out of Montebello out very well here for the first mile, but Pacifica Christian of Orange County, they are currently ranked 5th in CIF. They're going to be your leaders at the mile mark, but our 4th and 5th ranked squads right now, Cantwell Sacred Heart, Pacifica Christian, Pasadena Poly now with 5 coming across that first mile. And Natalie Gonzalez leading the charge there, representing Providence out of Burbank. And trying to join her teammate next weekend, Aubrey Eaton, who had already qualified as an individual earlier. Jenna Marie Lotz of Arrowhead Christian, also trying to qualify as an individual. Maddie Fox of Whittier Christian. Whittier Christian impressing there at their league finals and moving up to 12th in the rankings. Leah Slaughter of Arrowhead Christian also right there as well. And Kate, they will officially qualify on to next week as projected, as they were the #1 seed for this race. They are your first squad with 5 across, but now here comes Chadwick.
Yeah, I had the USDC and it's pointing to the right side.
Chadwick also with 5 across the line.
Come on, Sasha!
Oh, scratch that. I had to put it in the wrong spot. Okay, I'm good.
Natalie Gonzalez trying to open it up here on the backside of the stadium, going down switchbacks. Now opening up about a 30, 35 meter lead there. Again, as we said earlier, her teammate already qualified as an individual, her trying to join her as well. Going back to Heat 3, Amelia Sarkeesian, she was your individual winner at 19 flat. And Woodcrest Christian, they now have 5 across along with Flint Ridge Prep. So now we got to watch this thing. Samueli Academy, they came in trying to punch their ticket as well on and make that top 4. Kate, they'll move on. Chadwick is going to move on. Woodcrest Christian, they're going to move on. But all eyes set on that 4th spot here in Heat 3. Flint Ridge Prep with a 6-point advantage over Samuli Academy. It looks like Sarkeesian from Brentwood will easily move on as an individual. Murphy of Malibu will move on as an individual. And looks like Grace DeChico of Calvary Chapel of Santa Ana. She qualified as an individual. She is currently 6th right now. Her team did not qualify, so therefore she too will work her way as an individual. So 3 altogether from that heat. And right now, again, these are unofficial results, but right now Flint Ridge Prep continue to hold on to a 6-point advantage over Samuli Academy. Natalie Gonzalez continuing to open up a lead here and not playing around whatsoever. Her goal is to be in the top 6, make it as an individual, and right now she is in charge there of that race. She'll be coming to the 2-mile mark momentarily here in Heat 4. But going back to Heat 3, congratulations, the young ladies of Kate. They were 13th a year ago. They've really put together something good here this year. They are number 3 coming in and lived up to the billing here in Heat 3. Chadwick and Woodcrest Christian, they will move on to next week. And right now, Flint Ridge Prep with a 10-point advantage there on Samuli Academy. And Flint Ridge Prep would hold on to that 4th spot. They, too, will have a spot on the starting line next weekend. Individuals from that race, looks like Sarkeesian of Brentwood, Murphy of Malibu, and Tachiko of Calvary Chapel of Santa Ana. Again, these are unofficial. We want to remind all coaches you are only allowed to run 7 athletes in today's festivities. You cannot run an 8th or a 9th athlete. Only 7 allowed with a bib at the starting line, so please do not go over to the clerk of the course with more than 7 athletes. Your alternates can warm up with your team, but they cannot compete. So Natalie Gonzalez, that about 18-second advantage there. This is our final heat. Our last 4 teams looking to qualify on to next week. In Heat 1, it's official. St. Margaret's, Thatcher, Sacred Heart of Jesus, and Hawthorne Math and Science Academy. They have qualified on to next weekend. In Heat 2, it's Viewpoint, St. Lucy's, Linfield Christian, and Sage Hill, albeit by only 2 points, but that doesn't matter. It's all academic now. Sage Hill, they're your 4th spot there in Heat 2. In Heat 3, and it's going to be Kate, Chadwick, Woodcrest Christian, and Flint Ridge Prep. They're going to hold on to 12-point advantage there and claim that last spot. So 4 spots remaining at the table for next week. And coming through the 2-mile mark right now, we're starting to get some idea of where the teams stand. right now, Pacifica Christian and Cantwell, they were out very well through that first mile. Arrowhead Christian holding on to that third spot through the first mile ahead of Pasadena Poly. And then Whittier Christian only 3 points behind Pasadena Poly. Again, that's at the 1 mile mark. So Gonzalez continuing to motor. She is now halfway down Reservoir, and she'll be going down into the saddle and continuing to open up a lead. She had a 20-second advantage there at the 2 mile, and it looks like it's going to be even more so now as she comes in with about half mile to go. At that 2 mile mark, 4th and 5th ranked Cantwell, Sacred Heart, and Pacifica Christian of Orange County. Only 2 points separating them right now, but they're taking care of business 2/3 of the way through this 3 mile course here at Mount San Antonio College. Pasadena Poly, they have now moved into 3rd place. They are now 11 points ahead of Arrowhead Christian. Meanwhile, Xavier College Prep moving up from 7th up to 5th in that middle mile here. So Natalie Gonzalez continuing to take charge and not looking back whatsoever. Meanwhile, Slachter and lots of Arrowhead Christian currently running 2 and 3, just ahead of Maddie Fox of Whittier Christian. Looks like Pacifica Christian of Orange County and Cantwell Sacred Heart right now just packing up and running in pairs. And Whittier Christian now moves up into that 5th spot, trying to get up to that 4th spot, of course, because only 4 teams automatically qualify on to next week. But we see the same thing in our boys races and our Division I races later on this morning. Meanwhile, our boys, Heat 1, Division 5, they are currently going through Valley Loop right now. And we'll pick up that race in just a little bit as soon as we get our girls. But here is Gonzalez, Natalie Gonzalez of Providence out of Burbank, the senior. And it looks like Leah Slachter of Arrowhead Christian now coming on, making her way down the mountain. The 9th grader onto the track. And her teammate, Jenna Marie Lotz, the senior. So the 9th grader and the senior from Arrowhead Christian currently running 2-3. So Gonzalez, she will qualify as an individual. Check that one off the box there from the senior from Providence out of Burbank in 1923. Now all eyes on that team battle at the 2 mile mark.
Well done! Well done! Come on, Jenna! Nice job, Stella! Well done, Jenna!
So at that 2 mile mark here in our division, our fourth heat, Division 5 girls, Cantwell Sacred Heart, they have a 6-point advantage over Pacifica Christian of Orange County. Pasadena Poly, very comfortable there, 20-point advantage over Arrowhead Christian. And Whittier Christian trying to get back into it there and close that 10-point gap on Arrowhead Christian. But Arrowhead Christian taking care of business up front here with 2 in the top 3. Doctor of Arrowhead Christian, then 9th grader at 1950. Lots of Arrowhead at 2003. Our boys, Division 5, Heat 1, working do their second of 2 revolutions around Valley Loop. Our leaders there with Viewpoint dominating the race early on. Now making that U-turn there through Valley Loop, and next up is the 1 mile mark. Finn Babbitt of Mary Star of the Sea leading the charge up front, trying to qualify as an individual.
And the leaders of our first boys race of the day, the boys Division 5 Heat 1, now approaching the mile, and in fact do go through the mile at 5:02 through the first mile. Ben Babbitt, the Santa Fe League champion, in fact he was the Santa Fe League champion all 4 years in high school, and he is leading that heat through at 5:02. Right with him, Trent Williams of Malibu, and then Miguel Leon, Babbitt's teammate from Mary Star of the Sea, a couple seconds back. Eli Riblatt, Watson Eagles, Jack Richter, Andrew Neville, Ole O'Connor, James Infante, Alonzo Wickers. All those boys through at 5:10, now making their way up the switchbacks. Once again, Coach would like to remind you that the athletes need to be at the clerk of the course 15 minutes prior to the start of your race. That means they need to be at the clerk ready to race. Uniform on, tops and bottoms. Especially make sure they have their bib on when they get there. Coach, you can only run 7, no more than 7 runners. Your alternates certainly welcome to warm up, but only 7 get to race today. I'd like to welcome you. We're trying to qualify here in the boys, just like we did with the girls, 4 heats. So the first 4 teams by place will qualify for next Saturday's championship. Individuals, if their team doesn't qualify today, but they finish in the top 6 places in their heat, they can qualify for next Saturday's CIF-Southern Section Ford Cross Country Championships held right here at Mt SAC. We'll be crowning our 5 boys and girls champions and qualifying athletes and teams for the California State meet the week after. Week after that is the Foot Locker West Regional. Yeah, it's an open race. You may come run. You can see the signs on, the black signs, or you go to Foot Locker CC and register for that. If you're really excited about that, you get to run poop out in that. The full 5,000 regular course there on that will run. Today we're running our 3-mile course. And our leaders on the boys are now making the U-turn, just about to head on the back of the east side of the stadium. And Finn Babbitt, senior out of Mary Star of the Sea, opening up just a little bit of a lead. He's now coming down that hill. Looks to be opened up about 15 meters there. Trent Williams of Malibu running in second. Looks like O'Connor of Viewpoint moving up a little bit in third. But Babbitt trying to make it as an individual, running very strong here. just about to come into the alley heading to the crossover. Once again, folks, if you want to let your friends and relatives know, they can go online, go to YouTube and search HD Runners, and that's the scene you see up on the big video board. They can see that anywhere they have internet access, so mom, dad, everybody can watch the races from home, and they will show all the races today and all the races next week. But here he comes to the crossover, running very well. Babbitt going to be very quick, right around 8:05, it should be 8:20, looks like right there at the crossover. Babbitt, our leader. Williams coming up in second. Here comes Ollie O'Connor, was the Gold Coast League champion, ran 15:02 to win the sweepstakes race in Division 5 here at the Mt SAC Invitational, moving up well. And they're making their way up the saddle now on our new course there. Instead of going up Poop Out, they're going up the saddle. They'll get to the back of Reservoir and continue like they normally did. The 2-mile mark is on the back. Once again, we invite you also, if you haven't already, download the app to Finished Results, and you can see all the splits of all the runners at the mile mark, at the 2-mile mark, and the finish. Most importantly for today, the scoring, because we are qualifying for next Saturday. 4 teams only make it to the finals, and we're qualifying. You can get that app on your phone for free, Finished Results, and you'll see the scores of all the runners at the mile mark, the 2-mile mark, and the finish, and of course their team scores.
Let's go, Aaron! Let's go, Aaron! You got it, bro! Let's go!
And Babbitt goes through the leader at 3,200 meters, 2 miles. He goes by at 10:21. 10:21 at 2 miles. And Ollie O'Connor of Viewpoint has moved up into second. He goes by at 10:33. Trent Williams of Malibu hanging right there in third. He went by at 10:39. And Neville, that would be O'Connor's teammate, Andrew Neville, went by at 10:52. Miguel Leon, Babbitt's teammate from Mary Star of the Sea, went by at 10:52. A little bit of gap, about 10 seconds to Ryblatt of Campbell Hall at 11:02. Richter of Viewpoint, 11:04. Then Kesselbaum of Milken Community has moved up well, moved up 5 spots from the mile to the 2-mile. He's in 8th right now at 11:12. Right with him is Alonzo Wickers of Oakwood. And just a couple seconds back, Brandon Oshalam of Milken Academy. Team-wise, nobody with 5 yet through at the 2 miles, so good team battle, as though Babbitt making his way. He's halfway up Reservoir already. This will get us a good standard to set ideal conditions today on the course, and Babbitt continues to charge. O'Connor halfway up Reservoir now, but Babbitt over the top, ready to start on his way down here. And Babbitt, he was the individual league champ and Santa Fe champs, and they were the team champions. Running well, Milken Community, the Liberty League champions, Pacifica Christian, San Joaquin champions, and Viewpoint here They were the Mt SAC sweepstakes champions. Southern section, they are defending champions in the Southern section, and they're all running well here. 4 teams only qualify, and Babbitt looking very strong now, coming down the saddle, just about to pop onto the airstrip and have a little bit over 700 meters to go. And Babbitt onto the airstrip. Finn Babbitt of Mary Star of the Sea. On the airstrip, Ollie O'Connor of Viewpoint. Those are our top 2. And our Heat 2 in these boys D4 race. They are on the Valley Loop, on the first loop of the Valley. At the 2-mile mark, our top 4 teams were Viewpoint with 46, Xavier College Prep 65, Campbell Hall 79, Milton Community 91, and then Mary Star of the Sea on that bubble at 117. Only 4 teams are qualifying. Pacifica Christian pretty close at 121. So those 6 teams looking for 4 spots. Viewpoint, Xavier College Prep, Campbell Hall, Milton Community, Pacifica Christian of Orange County, and Mary Star of the Sea. When they come onto the track, only 4 will move on to next Saturday. Individuals can move on if they're in the top 6 and their team doesn't come on. And right now, coming onto the track, here's our leader. Has been the leader the whole way. Finn Babbitt, he looks great coming onto the track with 300 meters to go, the senior. And Ollie O'Connor right behind him now, moving up well. He's looking very strong. These 2 boys very far out front. O'Connor's team solidly in first place. Babbitt's team right now in 6th. He'll look to move on as an individual if his team doesn't get up to those top 4. Babbitt now making his way around the turn, heading for home here. Santa Fe League champion, 100 meters to go. The Gold Coast League champ coming up behind. And they're going to run a very nice time, maybe right around 15:30. Nice time here. Winner of this first heat, Finn Babbitt, the senior out of Mary Star of the Sea. So regardless of whether his team makes it, he will go on as an individual. O'Connor cruising there. He ran 15:02 at the Invitational, cruises in at 15:30 now. And Trent Williams of Malibu will move on as an individual. And 2 now for Viewpoint crossing the line there. That was Andrew Neville, 16:13. Udalsani of Wildwood leading that group in that second heat at the first mile. Very quick 4:56. Miguel Leon of Mary Star of the Sea gives them 2, and that puts him into the finals as an individual regardless. Jack Richter gives Viewpoint 3. In that boys' second heat there, Udalsani of Wildwood, 4:56. That's the fastest mile so far today. Windheim of Desert Christian, though, right with him. They have a sizable lead, about 11-second gap there to third, which is Pulsiper of Silver Valley, Macambra of Ontario Christian, and Markey of Brentwood, his teammate Kim right with him there, moving up the switchbacks back onto the track on that first heat in the boys D5 here. Viewpoint with 3 runners in the top 6. And they look to be solidly in control. This can be a great battle here. All these boys on the track are to determine. Qualifying is not guaranteed. Looks like Viewpoint's going to make it. And then who will be 2, 3, and 4, and then who's on the outside looking in 5th and 6th. But crossing the line, Viewpoint now. And we're just still under 18 minutes. Fine boys race. Xavier College Prep, that whole group running together, but all 5 finished together. So Xavier College Prep and Viewpoint are the first 2 schools with 5 across. That doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be there at the end, but that does help. That up front Viewpoint 3 in the top 6, and then that group of Xavier College Prep running 14, 15, 16, 19, and 20. Oh my. Outstanding for that group of boys there. Xavier College Prep, those boys, 17-second gap for all 5 of its runners. Still looking for 3, 4, and 5. Good battle here. Ontario Christian, outstanding power here. They were the leaders at the mile mark with 58 points. Silver Valley, 81. Brentwood, 102. Wildwood, 113. St. Genevieve, 115. And Desert Christian Lancaster, 125. Very close there. Remember, only 4 teams get to move on. That's the race that is running behind the stadium now. That is the second heat. Our first heat finishing, and now Campbell Hall joins Viewpoint and Xavier Prep and Pacifica Christian. Those are the 4 schools with 5 runners across the finish now. Campbell Hall now with 5 runners across. And now scores are fluid. You don't know the final score until each school's 5 crosses the line. You may have a runner up front that will displace others, but it's looking pretty solid now. Viewpoint at 42, Xavier College Prep 67, Campbell Hall 78, and Milken Community right now sitting at 95. Pacifica Christian back 24 spots, and then 5 spots after that, Mary Star of the Sea. So it looks like our qualifiers, this is not official yet, but it looks like Viewpoint, Xavier College Prep, Campbell Hall, Milken Community, they'll be moving on to next Saturday's finals right here at Mt SAC. Then Finn Babbitt of Mary Star of the Sea, Trent Williams of Malibu, Miguel Leon of Mary Star of the Sea, they will move on as individuals. And our boys in our second heat are approaching the 2-mile mark now. That race very close, 6 teams all right in it. And our third heat of the boys scheduled is just about ready to get started. They're lining up there. Just a reminder, especially on these boys races, go every 12 minutes. So you're going to have boys going in 2 different directions. So if a course marshal asks you to hold up, please do so. You may be looking one way and there may be runners coming the other way. So please hold up. We don't want anybody to interfere and affect one of the races. Theo Udelson of Wildwood, he goes through the first 2 mile. He is our leader there, and then Mahari Wenheim of Desert Christian staying close. They went by at 10:30 and 10:40, so Wenheim just 10 seconds back, but those two with a sizable margin there at the 2-mile mark. And Udelson just about to make the big U-turn and start up the final hill of Reservoir. Pulsipur of Silver Valley and his teammate Allen running right there in third and fifth with Lucas Kim of Brentwood right between them as they go through the first 2 miles. Then Lacambra and Jones and Down of Ontario Christian, the big three there hanging together, running 6, 7, and 8. Markey of Brentwood and Longo of Sage Hill. And Ontario Christian with the big three up front. They go through the 3,200 of the 2 mile with the first group. They have 5 runners, all 5 of their scorers in the top 19 spots overall in the race. So they look to be pretty much in control of their destiny here. And that first 2 heats, very quick. Babbitt was about 9 seconds ahead of Udalsani. He has now made his way down off of Reservoir. He's in the saddle now, the Coastal League champion, moving very well. Ran 15:27 here at the Mt SAC Invitational this year. He was the sweepstakes individual champion in Division 5, so he's run this course well. Ran 15:28 up at Clovis at Woodward Park. It appears that the new Mt SAC course and the Clovis course are almost identical time-wise, and so we're looking at a sub 15:30 runner right here. He also was the Brentwood Invitational champion this year, running very well, 17th last year in the state meet, but on his way right now to winning his qualifying heat. He is on the airstrip. And looking at the team scores at the 2 mile mark, Ontario Christian was solidly in control at 51, Brentwood at 86, Silver Valley at 92, and then we're going to have ourselves a heck of a battle here for that 4th spot. Right now, we've got Desert Christian at 111 and Wildwood at 119 for that final spot. That was with a mile to go, so it will certainly make a difference here when we come on to the track of who's going to move on. And Heat 3 in that boys D5 has just begun. And we look to the big video board to the south. We should see Theo Udalsani. Here he comes in the green, coming onto the track here. And we're right just now coming onto the track. Udalsani continued to expand upon that lead. Here comes second, Mahari Wenheim of Desert Christian of Lancaster. Certainly going to be helpful. Those 2 points for a second place finish here, and those are the only 2 on the track right now. And we're at 15:20. Here comes 3 and 4. Looks like Pulsifer and Allen moving well for Silver Valley, but into the home stretch here. Theo Udalsani of Wildwood coming down the stretch. The senior going to be just a shade right around 15:50 and cruising nicely in for the win. And indeed, he is going to be our champion of this race at 15:53, our leading qualifier. Here comes Mahari Wenheim of Desert Christian of Lancaster, the junior, just about 100 meters to go. And now the real race begins as these boys come on the track. Ontario Christian, Brentwood, and Silver Valley looking good, but then a great battle. Desert Christian and Wildwood now for that 4th and 5th spot. Again, you can download the app Finished Results and see real-time scoring. Manhari goes through right at 16:23. And here come the boys from Silver Valley. And Pulsiper and Allen of Silver Valley, 16:38, 16:43 in 3rd and 4th. Lucas Kim of Brentwood, 5th at 16:49. LaCombra of Ontario Christian, 16:57. Jones, his teammate, at 17:01. Eli Ing of Brentwood, 9th at 17:06. Freddie Olson of Oakwood, 17:07, and Austin Drown gives Ontario Christian 3 of the top 10. Jordan Ryan of Kate in 11. This is where our qualifying will really happen, right here on the track. Right now, nobody with 5 across the finish line yet. And there they are, Ontario Christian. They will be the first with 5. Looks like, in fact, they have 6 now across the line. So the depth of the Ontario Christian boys showing through here. They're easily going to qualify. And in fact, now all 7 runners have finished. So great up front strength and great depth should really help them next Saturday in our championship. Looking now for 2, 3, and 4 to move on to next Saturday. And Desert Christian now, they've got 5 across. Silver Valley has 5 across. And Brentwood joins our group with 5 finishers. And Kate now with 5 across the finish. So the way cross-country scoring goes, we have to wait till every school finishes its top 5 runners for them to show up in the scoring. But our teams that have had 5 across the line, Ontario Christian, Silver Valley, Brentwood, Desert Christian, and Kate. And our boys in Heat 3 have gone through the first mile. A little bit more conservative on this first mile. John Martinez of St. Pius, he is leading our group at 5:20. Everybody in it. Murphy of Malibu, Estrada of Windward, Ishikawa of Ojai Valley, Fabberry of Heritage Christian of Northridge, Lindelof of Windward, Koff Gilmore of Crossroads, Sauer of Village Christian, Kobayashi of Windward, and Sutter and Murillo of the Webb Schools. Everybody within 6 seconds of each other. That group now heading up the switchbacks in Heat 3. This is a 4-heat division, Division 5 boys. That means the first 4 teams by score get onto the qualifying for Saturday's championship next Saturdays. Nobody gets in at large. You got to be in the top 4. There's no other way to get in but that. Individuals can move on if they're in the top 6 overall and their team does not make it. right, looking at that score now on that Heat 2. They're just finishing here. Looks like Ontario Christian solidly going to be our winner. These are unofficial, but right now Ontario Christian at 55, Brentwood at 87, Silver Valley at 93. Looks like Desert Christian Lancaster going to get that 4th spot at 99. Wildwood is 5th right now at 120. And this is a good team battle here in Heat 3. They're all coming down behind the stadium right now. And then Heat 4 getting ready to line up. And we'll move on to back to our girls races and our girls Division 1. Coaches that you've been arriving for those races. Remember, 15 minutes prior to the start of the race, athletes need to be at the clerk of the course. Clerk of the course is on the practice track. That is at the northwest side of the practice track. Spectators, we're just delighted you joined us. If you want to be down on the course right in the middle of the action, go through the practice track and go out the south gate, and you can go over the bridge there and take you right down to the crossover where they'll pass right by you 5 times. If you want to be up in the stadium, you can stay up in the stadium and watch it on the video screen. With 2 races going on, though, the video will concentrate on the race that's finishing. But you can watch that on the video screen and join us there. And it looks like Martina's taking us through the halfway point. And now just about to traverse up the saddle. And our score at the first mile team-wise now as this Heat 3 goes through. We had Windward at 35, Thatcher at 70, the Webb Schools at 82, Hawthorne Math and Science at 117, Chadwick 134, Heritage Christian 146, and Sherman Indian 147. That was the score at the mile on that race. That's now making their way up the saddle, just about to go on to the back of Reservoir. And Heat 4 lining up and just about ready to start. And that's Alec Faberi of Heritage Christian of Northridge taking us through the first 2 miles at 11:14. But it is certainly a large group there within 10 seconds of it. Mateo Escalante of Thatcher, Ranger Murphy of Malibu, David Estrada of Windward, Brad Sauer of Village Christian, Lucas DeClerc of Thatcher, and Mason Koff-Gilmore of Crossroads, all within 12 seconds. So those 7 boys right there, then a little bit of a gap. Linda Liff of Woodward, Sutner of the Webb Schools, Ishikawa, Kobayashi, Granados Pulva, and Malone of Chadwick, all right there. That's the top 13. Thatcher running very strong as a team. Thatcher has all 5 of its scores in the top 24. So they are through. Hawthorne Math and Science running as a group. They don't have anybody in the top 20 yet they have 5 runners in the top 26. So all 5 of its scores running well together, and they have moved up very well since the mile and continue to move up well. That would be Hawthorne Math and Science. Thatcher, Windward, Hawthorne Math, and Chadwick are the first 4 teams at the 2-mile mark. The Webb School's right there with them, so just like we did in our last heat, it's going to be close for that 4th and final qualifying spot, and they've got less than a mile to go.
Heat 4 has started.
Let's get past them here, get the crest, and then attack. Come on.
And our leaders have gone over Reservoir in Heat 3. And Heat 4 just now on their way making their first loop of the valley.
Oh no. No, it's that way. There's on the outer strip.
Good strong finish, Mateo! Way to go, David! Way to go! Mt SAC finish, Lucas!
Looking a little bit closer at that team score at 2 miles. Windward and Thatcher locked in a dead heat really up for the top spot. Then a gap of about 40 points to Hawthorne and Heritage Christian. And the Webb School's just about 5 points behind them, and Chadwick about another 5 back. So 6 schools right in it. Windward, Thatcher, Hawthorne Math Science, Heritage Christian, Webb Schools, and Chadwick. 6 schools battling for 4 spots. And coming down the airstrip, here we go. And Alec Fabry of Heritage Christian into the gauntlet. Should be coming under Bader Bridge and onto the track shortly. And Fabry onto the track with the lead with 300 to go. Done a nice job of holding that lead. And the Thatcher boys running well. Here comes 2 through 7 onto the track. Down the backstretch, Alec Fabry of Heritage Christian of Northridge, 200 meters to go. That'll be a great start, Heritage Christian in that battle for that 4th team spot. It's always great to start with just 1 point up front. And here comes Fabry, going to get the win here. Looks like DeClerc and Escalante of Thatcher going to give the boys 2nd and 3rd, right at 16:51. And Escalante 17 flat, DeClerc 17:01 for Thatcher. Sauer of Village Christian in 4th at 17:03. Estrada of Windward 5th at 17:11. Murphy of Malibu 6th at 17:12. Mason Koff Gilmore of Crossroads, Kobayashi of Windward, Granaz Pulva of Windward, and Lindorf of Windward, all three in the top 10. Still looking for the first team to get 5 runners across the finish. And the first of the Hawthorne Math and Science boys coming through. And in Heat 4, defending state champion in this division, Division 5, Ian Turk of Woodcrest Christian, all alone through that first mile at 4:55. And Thatcher and Hawthorne Math and Science now both with 5 across the finish. And this is where our battle here, Windward, Heritage Christian, Chadwick, and the Webb schools all looking for a spot here in the finals to join Thatcher and Hawthorne from this heat. But no one yet with 5 across other than those first 2 schools. And as we pay attention to race finish and look up onto the east, right at the top of the switchbacks with a huge lead here. Looks to be well over 100 meters. The defending state champ, the defending section champ, he's a sub 9-minute, 3,200 meter runner. That's Ian Turk, finally a senior from Woodcrest Christian. What a great career he has had. He is running fine. As our boys continue to finish, Turk, though, already making the crossover. Looks great here halfway through the race. And now it's looking pretty solid here. Thatcher and Windward are in, it looks like. This is unofficial. Heritage Christian going to get that 3rd spot. And right now, if it holds, Hawthorne Math and Science. So we've got Heritage Christian at 83, Hawthorne at 96. And then we go to the Webb schools in Chadwick, both at 109. So it looks like our top 4 are going to be Thatcher, Windward, Heritage Christian, and Hawthorne in Heat 3. Heat 4, now Turk moving up the saddle, heading to the back of Reservoir. And Turk goes through the 2 mile at 10:20. That is the fastest time so far of all 4 of the heats here. Once again, the defending state and section champion outrunning very quickly here. It's run 8:54 for 3,200 meters on the track. The Southern Section Division 4 champion at that distance last year. The Masters meet, he was 3rd last year. Running very well, leading this heat here. The senior from Woodcrest Christian, still the only one through the first 2 miles of that heat number 4. That lead is getting to be insurmountable as he heads up Reservoir now all by his little self. And that lead is almost 50 seconds. Isaiah Miller of Packing House Christian Academy leading a group of the Providence boys of Burbanks, Virtue, and Greenwich right with him. That's the top 4. Wadra of St. Margaret's and his teammate Gurasamy, they're running in 5 and 6. Mansbridge, Saki, and Carrick Brown of Flint Ridge Prep running 6, 7, and 8. So they've got 3 in the top 8, as does St. Margaret's, because Frankfort is in 9th. Flint Ridge Prep, 4 runners in the top 10 at the 2 mile mark. Flint Ridge Prep is the first with 5 runners through the 2 mile.
Girls, heat 1 is off.
Me and Turk on the airstrip. Me and Turk on the airstrip.
Judging from the scores at 2 miles, Flint Ridge Prep, St. Margaret's, and Providence in good shape. Then a good battle with Woodcrest Christian Academy for Academic Excellence and Samuel Lee Academy in looking for that 4th spot. And in the maroon and gold, just about to step onto the track, Ian Turk, senior from Woodcrest Christian. And he has 300 meters to go. And he is on the backstretch all alone, the only one on the track, the only one in view. And we're still well under 15 minutes. We're at 14:50 right now. Could be looking at the fastest time of the day so far. And here he comes. He's broken 13:57 this year at Woodbridge early on in the year, and it looks like he is going to have our fastest time of the day. He's even picking it up a little bit. Here he comes, going to be the winner in the fastest time so far at 15:26. And here now comes the second and third runners just onto the track now. These are the boys from Providence, Greenwich and Virtue. They're on the backstretch, 1-2 in the prep league this year, moving well. And coming home now, this will be 2, 3, and 4 here. Gurusamy and Greenwich Virtue and Greenwich of Providence. And Greenwich does get the second spot at 16:41. Mansbridge, Flint Ridge Prep will get that fourth spot there at 16:47. Virtue ran 16:37 and Greenwich 41. Mansbridge at 47. And the St. Margaret's Episcopal boys out for an easy run, it looks like. They're going to qualify quite well. They've got 2 there in the top 6. Flint Ridge Prep, though, now with 3 in the top 8. St. Margaret's third, already across the line now. And Flint Ridge Prep, the first with 5 across in this heat. In our girls, first of Division I girls, the Tribuca Hills duo of Bales and Barker out very well through the first 800 meters. They're on the second loop of the valley. We're going to run 4 heats in that race, in that division. That means the first 4 teams will also be qualifiers. And individuals, if they finish in the top 6 and their team doesn't make it, they'll move on to next Saturday's championship. St. Margaret's joins Flint Ridge Prep with 5 finishers now across the line, so those 2 teams look pretty solid. Providence looks like it's going to get that 3rd spot. They've got 5 across, and then now it'll be who gets the 4th and final spot to give us 16 teams for next Saturday's Southern Section Ford Cross Country Championship. That'll be in the boys Division 5. Turk is guaranteed a spot if the Woodcrest Christian boys don't make it. He'll go on as an individual. Academy for Academic Excellence is the next school with 5 finishers.
So as we get ready for that last finish there in that 4th heat of the Division 5 boys, our attention goes back to our first heat of the girls Division 1, top seeded and number 1 ranked Tribuco Hills taking charge early on. Holly Barker leading the pace setting charge there for the Mustangs. Mustangs a year ago, they were runner-ups in Division 1. They'll have a great showdown waiting for them there between they and Santiago High School. Millie Bayless of Tribuco Hills off their front as well. Erica Kirk of Vista Murrieta. And going through that first mile mark there for that girls Division 1 race. Tribuco with a dominating pack there up front. King High School currently running second just ahead of Vista Murrieta. And Portola just ahead of Beaumont there by 4 points with Temecula Valley right there in the shadow. So great matchup there, as has been the case in the last couple of heats. We're going to have 4 heats altogether, top 4 teams automatically qualifying. And of course, if you are looking to qualify as an individual, you must be in the top 6 if you're not on a qualifying team. And going back to that boys Division 4, Division 5, 4th heat, these scores are fluid. They continue to change. Woodcrest Christian, though, holding a 2-point advantage there over Samuel Academy there for that 4th and final spot. Barker and Bayless, and that's Megan Crum of Temescal Canyon right there in the shadow. So Trabuco going 1-2 with our senior from Temescal Canyon, Megan Crum. Erica Kirk, a while back there, about 30, 40 meters back there. She leads that chase pack there representing Vista Marietta. Sophie Guilfoyle of Trabuco rounding out some Mustangs with 3 of the top 4. Guilfoyle just ahead of Kirk of Vista Marietta. Meanwhile, the duel of Druitt and Jacqueline from Martin Luther King High School representing them up front along with Silveira Guerrero of La Quinta trying to sneak into one of those top 6 spots as an individual. At the mile mark there, Trabuco Hills, only 29 points. King High School, 19-point advantage over Vista Marietta, and Portola with a 4-point advantage over Beaumont. That was at the mile mark. And these are unofficial results here in Division 5, the 4th heat. Flint Ridge Prep, St. Margaret's, and Providence. They have punched their tickets onward to next week's CIF Finals. And Samuli Academy, they have now moved 1 point ahead of Woodcrest Christian for that last automatic spot. Again, these are unofficial results. But right now, Samuli Academy, 119, Woodcrest Christian at 120, and Academy for Academic Excellence, 120. So only 1 point separating 4th through 6th place there in that last heat of the Division 5 boys. Barker and Bales going through the 2 mile there at 11:39 and 11:40 respectively, with Megan Crum right there on their shadows there. A very strong group. Trabuco Hills again, number 1 ranked. Meanwhile, Guilfoyle, Trabuco's number 3, and Erica Kirk of Vista Marietta running through the 2 mile mark right there, shadowing each other in 4th and 5th. Guerrero of La Quinta, and it looks like Jacqueline of King. DeSormu of Trabuco Hills. So Trabuco really taking charge here at the 2 mile mark here with 4 in the top 7. And now Barker stepping up the pace there going up the hill. And Barker and Bayless in Trabuco Hills, they had 4 girls that broke 11 minutes on the track last year over the 3,200 meters. And adding Guilfoyle to that group, Skylar Watts, very talented group there from Trabuco Hills High School. They were 3rd last year at the California State meet. Obviously looking to finish higher this year, but right now getting in a great training session with Holly Barker leading the charge. She is now almost to the top of Reservoir And those Mustangs, the first team with 5 across there at the 2 mile mark in Heat 1 of the Division I girls. So our folks at Finish Results, they have right now that 1-point advantage still right there with Samuli Academy in that Division 5 fourth heat. They're at 123, Woodcrest Christian at 124, and Academy for Academic Excellence at a 124. So only 1 point separating 4th through 6th place there, and that incredibly tight battle that was the 4th heat in the Division 5 boys. Meanwhile, Holly Barker Trabuco Hills onto the airstrip. Bales and Crum. So Trabuco 1-2 right now. 3 of the top 5. Crum of Temesco Canyon sandwiched in between that group there with Erica Kirk of Vista Murrieta.
Story? I saw
Holly Barker now making that last right turn into the gauntlet. Then she'll be making her left turn from there on out as she is cruising right now and about to approach the track in Division 1, Heat 1.
That's a good camera. Yeah. Where does this footage go?
Come on, Holly, you got
We signed up with the challenge. But this challenge it's like prompts. So I signed up for the sports story. Yeah. The prompt was a lost is for today. A lost is for today. So I think the direction they wanted to go in is like maybe you broke your leg.
And Barker onto the track there. Talented senior out of Trabuco Hills. And Millie Bale is her teammate. And our course record from the Mt SAC invite was 17:20, and Barker right now the Division 1 record is 17:20. Course record, of course, is 16:57, but even so for Barker right now flirting with that with about 150 to go. Bales and Crum putting on a clinic here in Division 1, Heat 1. Kirk of Vista Murrieta about to get on the track just ahead of Trabuco Hills number 3, Sophie Guilfoyle. Well, Holly Barker stepped into another gear once she hit the base of Reservoir, and now not looking back. She's at 17. So it'll be a Division 1 all-time record here on the new Mt SAC course, 17:12 and change. And 17:11.9 her official time there. And Millie Bale is coming across at 17:30 and change. Crum, she'll comfortably move on as an individual from Temesco Canyon. She'll come across right there at 17:41 and change. And Guilfoyle now making a push here, going around Erica Kirk. And Trabuco looking to lock up 3 of the top 4 spots here, and this is just the Southern Section Prelims, as they will easily move on to the finals next week as the number 1 seed, Erica Kirk of Vista Murrieta, currently running 5th. This is Druitt's. Check that. That's Jacqueline of Martin Luther King with a great finish. Guerrero of La Quinta. This is DeSormu of Trabuco Hills. So Druitt's of King with 150 to go. And Skylar Watts of Trabuco Hills looking to put 4 in the top 10. So Barker, your winner, 17:11.9. Bales at 17:30.5. Guerrero and for La Quinta coming up for 7th place. DeSormu, Trabuco Hills, again 4 in the top 8. Trabuco Hills with 5 across. So in that second heat, Heat 2, your defending champion Santiago Sharks now taking onto the course. And Riley Blade, she is out fast, 5:20 through that mile mark, and Blade already working her way, navigating the switchbacks and out fast. So right now, Trabuco Hills and Santiago looking to make statements here early on for prelims. Of course, they'll lock up like they did a year ago, where they finished 1-2. Santiago taking the crown a year ago, and now Trabuco Hills trying to keep pace with them. But right now, Riley Blade, 5:20 through that first mile. And Martin Luther King in Heat 1, the first team with 5 across. Excuse me, check that. The second team, Trabuco Hills, of course, already put 5 across. Vista Murrieta. They now have 5 across. And Beaumont, the Cougars, out of Riverside County there, they have 5 across. In that second heat here, our top seeds are Santiago, San Clemente, Long Beach Poly, and Liberty. Going back to Heat 1, though, Vista Murrieta, they have qualified 15 years in a row and trying to make this year 16. But Trabuco Hills, King, Vista Murrieta, Beaumont, Chino Hills, and Temecula Valley, those are your top 6 right now. These are unofficial results. But right now, Beaumont with a 13-point advantage there over Chino Hills for that 4th automatic qualifying spot. In Heat 2, coming through that mile mark, Santiago dominating early here. Not just Riley Blade up front, but Braylon Combe of Santiago coming through at 5:32. Phoebe Beenan of Santa Monica, 5:42. Avery Peck of Long Beach Poly, 5:46. And Nicole Alfred of Rancho Cucamonga at 5:47, just ahead of Esparza of Santa Ana. But right now, through that mile mark in Heat 2, Santiago, 31 points. San Clemente with a 6-point advantage over Santa Monica. Long Beach Poly and Liberty basically deadlocked there through that first mile. So Riley Blade, the Florida State-bound senior out of Santiago, continuing to purr her way along the course there. Those of us in the stadium and those of you online are able to watch this live due to our friends at HD Runners, free broadcast. And incredible coverage here this morning. This is just day 1 of 2 here at the divisional prelims. If you, so be it, you want to come by and join us tomorrow, we'll be doing divisions 2, 3, and 4. And now Blade taking that left turn there over the crossover, over the halfway point at 9:03. 9:03 at the halfway point, as she's now going to take a right turn and grind her way up the saddle. That's Riley Blade up front with Braylon Combe, who had run 17:20 here at the Mt SAC Invitational, right there in that runner-up spot. And Phoebe Benham of Santa Monica in that 3rd spot, along with Avery Peck of Long Beach Poly, right now currently in 4th. Alfred of Rancho Cucamonga and Adamara Esparza of Santa Ana right now trying to get into that conversation for one of those individual spots to move on. If your team does not move on and you finish in the top 6, you too will have a space next weekend at the Southern Section Finals. Meanwhile, going back to Heat 1, looks like these scores are final. Tribuco Hills, our top-ranked squad, they will easily advance to 22. Martin Luther King and Vista Murrieta, they will move on as 2 and 3, and your ladies from Beaumont, they will take that 4th qualifying spot out of Heat 1 and reserve a spot for next week. So, and Blade continuing to move her way on the backside of a reservoir and approaching the 2-mile mark. She is still under 11:30. Excuse me, check that, 11:17 at the 2-mile mark. And Combe coming through at 11:50. So Santiago running 1-2. Your defending California Division I state champions and your divisional champs looking to repeat here. And up front, wait, now Avery Peck out of Long Beach Poly moving into 3rd. And Alfred of Rancho Cucamonga in 4th, just ahead of Beanan of Santa Monica. Those are your top 5. This should be a fast race right now. Currently, we have Blade projected to go under 17. The new course record is 16:57. And right now, Blade projects to go under that. And Esparza of Santa Ana running in that spot. And Swiginnis, the 9th grader out of San Clemente, currently right now in that 7th spot. San Clemente projected to move on here in Heat 2. They're currently ranked 7th in Division 1. Santiago, despite resting some of their top girls here, they have 5 of the top 12 spots. They are the first team to go across. And if you look there on your screens there, you'll see Ms. Riley Blade going down reservoir. So at that 2 mile mark, Santiago with the obvious advantage there up front and behind. San Clemente a bit just a nudge ahead of Long Beach Poly and Santa Monica. Santa Monica looking to move into that top 4 spot there, keep that 4th spot and qualify onto the finals. They currently hold a 11-point advantage over Liberty. So right now Santiago, San Clemente, Long Beach Poly, and Santa Monica. Our young ladies from Heat 3 Division 1 right now in their first of 2 loops around Valley Loop. All eyes on Blade right now as she now enters onto the airstrip at only 14:22, 14:25. Riley Blade taking control early and has not looked back whatsoever. Braylon Combs still running a great race as well, not to be dismissing her. She is in 2nd place, and right now she will also be in the 17s. Oh, 36-second advantage here between Blade and Combe, arguably one of the top 1-2 combos in the United States there in cross country. Combe the junior, Blade the senior. And right now, you'll see her on the screen there. Blade is in the gauntlet. You'll see her momentarily here in the stadium. Right now, going back to the team scores at that 2 mile mark. Really good battle there for 3rd and 4th. Only 1 point separating Long Beach Poly and Santa Monica. Meanwhile, Santa Monica, they increased their lead over Liberty by 17 points. But here she is, folks. Riley Blade onto the track at 15:40. She is on the track. That record set at the Mt SAC Invitational by Arrington of South Pasadena in jeopardy of falling. That record being 16:57. She's got 1 minute to get back here and cross that line. She's at 16 flat right now.
There was a great race between her and Sadie.
And Combe onto the track and looking very comfortable. That clock still at 16:25. Very talented race here. This is Heat 2, Girls Division 1. And Riley Blade with 100 meters to go. The senior out of Santiago. She's at 16:38, 16:40. And making a definite statement and a warning to everybody else for next weekend. She's looking to defend her title. She went 15:20 at the Woodbridge Invitational and 16:49 at Mt SAC on the Mt SAC course here at the CIF Prelims. And Combe, she had run 17:20 at the Mt SAC Invite. She's at 17:05. Peck of Long Beach Poly, Benham of Santa Monica, Alfred of Rancho Cucamonga, all on the track, and that clock still under 17:20. And Braylon Combe, Santiago, making it look easy, checking this box off at 17:29. And Esparza of Santa Monica looking to hold on to that 6th spot. She would qualify as an individual if she could do so with 300 meters to go. Swiginnis, the 9th grader out of San Clemente, giving chase. Avery Peck, Long Beach Poly. She's going to come across there at 18:11. Benham of Santa Monica. At 18:21. Alfred, if her squad does not finish in the top 4, she'll qualify as an individual, 18:28. At that 2 mile mark there, Santa Monica, they had a 17-point advantage for that last spot to qualify here. Only 4 teams qualifying. Esparza in that 6th spot. And Swiginnis lead the charge there for the Tritons of San Clemente, but Esparza, she will qualify as an individual on to next week. So we'll keep our eyes focused there on the team results. Meanwhile, going back to the Heat 3, Division I girls, our leaders now working their way up to the top of switchbacks. And so a much more conservative, tighter race than what we've seen in our previous 2 heats. Nadia Mejia coming through at Long Beach Wilson. She leads the group through a 5:39. So a little 19 seconds off what we saw from Miss Blade. But Blade did set a new course record here at Mt SAC with her effort as well. Alyssa White of Etiwanda up front. McKenna Mitchell, 9th grader out of Great Oak at 5:44. Audrey Buckley, Long Beach Wilson, and Eric Hart. So Long Beach Wilson right now taking charge early here. They are your leaders through the mile mark. Ahead of Great Oak, Crescenta Valley. Crescenta Valley coming in as the number 3 seed overall here in Division I. And Riverside Poly and Warren Downey, they will be fighting for that 4th and last spot there to move on to next weekend. San Clemente. In Heat 2, they've now got 5 girls across. Santa Monica now joining that group there. They got 5 across. Long Beach Poly and Liberty now with 5 across the line. Right now, Long Beach Poly with a pretty sizable lead there over Liberty for that 4th and last qualifying spot right now. Santiago, San Clemente, Santa Monica, and Long Beach Poly. Those are your 4 squads there in Heat 2. Again, these are unofficial, and the scores will continue to change as more runners cross the line. So as they go to the crossover, going back to Heat 3 here. Heat 3, that is Nadia Mejia of Wilson. And then you got the 9th grader Mitchell of Great Oak running in 2nd place. And you got Alyssa Wyatt of Etiwanda trying to qualify as an individual, currently in that 3rd spot. As our girls are now past the halfway point here in Heat 3 and will now move their way towards and grind up that saddle on their way to Reservoir. There's Bolenbach of Riverside Poly in 4th.
Stay out of your tent right now. Let's go, attack that hill.
Kayla Gill of Valencia out of Placentia, also up in that top 6, along with Natalie Gonzalez of Downey. Julia Martinez of Chaffee.
Let's go, Ella. Looking good. Sit, Emily. Attack the hill, Emily.
So our leaders now working their way to the backside of Reservoir. But at that 1 mile mark, it was Long Beach Wilson. They were your early leaders, and they are looking to qualify for the finals for the first time since 2004. So nobody on that team was alive the last time the Bruins were able to make it up. And Bahia, she comes through the 1 mile, 2 mile mark there at 12:09. McKenna Mitchell leading Great Oak there at 12:12. Olivia Bolenbach of Riverside Poly at 12:23. Alyssa Wyatt of Etiwanda at 12:24. And Michaela Gill of Valencia and Placentia at 12:26. Those are your top 5 going through the 2 mile mark. For Center Valley, the Falcons, they were your number 1 seed coming into the race. And right now, starting to move up. Kate McKinney of Crescenta Valley, Amelia Greenway leading the Falcons. And Gabriela Losa of Hemet now trying to find her way as an individual into that top 6. Natalie Gonzalez of Downey currently 9th. And Ericart of Wilson. So Wilson right now up front looking very strong. They're 3 in the top 12. Now the Falcons of Crescenta Valley have moved up. They now have 3 in the top 11. Great Oak with 3 in the top 14. And Wilson currently right now with their number 4 sitting at 15th place. And our final heat of the Division I girls off and away. Our leaders now going into Valley Loop, but going back to that heat 3. Long Beach Wilson can still your leaders there, just a little tad ahead of Great Oak, and Great Oak with a slim 4-point advantage over Crescenta Valley. So Crescenta Valley doing what it takes to move on. Long Beach Wilson, Great Oak also right there as well, and Riverside Poly with now a 21-point advantage over Warren for that 4th and final spot. So going back to that 2 mile mark here, Long Beach Wilson with a 5-point advantage over Great Oak. Great Oak 7 points ahead of Crescenta Valley. And Riverside Poly, they've now opened up a 27-point advantage there over the Bears of Warren for that final spot. Mejia, she was your leader, coming through at 12:09, just ahead of Mitchell at 12:12.
The people that are working hard to carry things. Yes, we do have a team. We are together. Unified. Come block the right. Sorry, we were walking fast.
Too fast, my arm.
Too fast. Yeah, that's the first. All right, guys, let's go.
So going back to Heat 4 here, Tegan Bivens of Los Osos, the 10th grader, your early leader. But right now, Division 4, everybody content to stay together. There's that first half mile or so. Redondo Union, Maricosta. And Nadia Mejia out of Long Beach Wilson. Looking very impressive as she gets onto the track now. 17:05, so she's going to be a little north of 18, and a very impressive performance there. You also have the 9th grader from Great Oak. That's McKenna Mitchell of right there, and that's going to be Bolenbach of Riverside Poly. So not much changing here in the last mile of Heat 3 Division I girls. And those 4 teams that are looking to make it: Long Beach Wilson, Great Oak, Crescenta Valley, and Riverside Poly. Alyssa Wyatt of Etiwanda trying to finish in the top 6 and move on as an individual. And it looks like Caitlin Kinney of Crescenta Valley now moving into that 4th spot. Nadia Mejia, she was top 10 overall the Division I Finals a year ago, representing Wilson in 2024 and bringing home the win at 18:14. Mitchell of Great Oak, very impressive performance here, along with Bolenbach of Riverside Poly. They're going to come across at 18:27, 18:28. And Kinney leading the charge. Crescenta Valley doing the bare minimum to get through and move on to next week with fresh legs here. The Falcons and the number 3 seed, number 1 seed for this race at 18:45. Alyssa Wyatt, she will indeed move on to the CIF Finals next week. And Michaela Gill with a light rush here from Valencia, 18:58. And so Gill, with that late rush, she will qualify for the CIF Finals from next week, along with Wyatt of Etiwanda. So Crescenta Valley with 3 in the top 8. And Heat 3 here, Crescenta Valley, your early leaders, but going back to Heat 4, our leaders coming through, they're at the top of switchbacks. Alana Clark of Maricosta coming through that mile mark there, Carol Dye. So Heat 4, very conservative pacing skills here over that first mile. Only 6:01 for that first thing, and everybody in it there. Carol Dye of San Juan Hills, Sophie Rebick of Redondo Union, Tegan Bivens of Los Osos, Mia Ritter of Maricosta, Casey McCon of Huntington Beach. And now things starting to string out just a little bit here at the top of switchbacks there in Heat 4 for the Division I girls. So Heat 3 currently on the track right now, finishing. Things tighten up quite a bit there, but number 1 seed Crescenta Valley, they're going to move up there. The and Great Oak right now tied at 48. And again, it doesn't matter what place you finish here at prelims, as long as you're one of those top 4 spots, you get on spot on the line next week at the Ford Southern Section cross-country finals here at Mt SAC. Long Beach Wilson, looks like right now they're going to hold on to that 3rd spot. Again, these are unofficial results, but again, Wilson, this will be their first qualifying since 2004. Congratulations. Riverside Poly right now with a 19-point advantage over Warren. And again, these scores are continually changed. Teams still come across with their 5th score. Alana Clark now taking advantage of that early pace and now taking over here in Heat 4. And now Charlotte Hopkins and Rena Shea of Arcadia. Bivens of Los Osos and Dive, San Juan Hills. Arcadia looking very good here over the last month. They went from being unranked and jumped all the way up to 4th there after their performance at the Mt SAC Invitational. And Shea and Charlotte Hopkins being a big reason for that, one of the best 1-2 punches in the Southern section. Meanwhile, going back to Heat 3, Crescenta Valley, they're going to come away with looks like a 1-point advantage there over Great Oak. They're going to move up 2 spots over that last mile. Long Beach Wilson, they're in that 3rd spot. And Riverside Pauley in that 4th spot right now with a 25-point advantage over Warren, and looking solid there for qualifying on to next week. So at that 1 mile mark, Redondo Union with the nice tight pack there. Again, everything's very conservative in that first mile here in Heat 4, but they had a 21-point advantage there over Miss Maricosta. Meanwhile, Beckman, Arcadia, Huntington Beach, only 12 points separating them for those 4 spots. We'll see things kind of open up just a little bit here over this last mile. Our leader, Alana Clark, on the backside of Reservoir. Alana Clark taking her Maricosta crew through there at 12:23. So Maricosta looking to make it to the finals once again. Seemingly every single year you're going to find Maricosta in the finals, regardless of whether it be Division I or Division II. And they are one of the top seeds coming into the action today here in Heat 4. Carol Dye, San Juan Hills, trying to qualify as an individual here. She comes through at 2nd in that 2 mile mark at 12:38. Tegan Bivens trying to do the same there individually from Los Osos at 12:38. And Shea and Hopkins representing Arcadia coming through together at 12:39. So Clark with a 15-second advantage there at the 2 mile mark, but then right there within the next 15 seconds, you're going to find about 20 girls all congested together there. Should make for a very interesting team race here over the last mile in this final heat of the Division I girls. Maricosta and Redondo, Bay League rivals right now, locking up horns here, and right now in the top 3, but Arcadia now moving up. Arcadia right there with Crescenta Valley last week at the Pacific League Finals. And Beckman, Orange County powerhouse squad there, trying to work their way into the Final 4 and move on to next week's final. So Alana Clark of Maricosta continuing to lead the charge there in Heat 4. She'll be approaching, going down the saddle right now, coming off Reservoir. Looking very smooth here. She was at 12:23, had a 15-second advantage. And meanwhile, her squad now moving up, and they have the lead here at the 2 mile mark ahead of Arcadia. And they are both ranked 5th and 4th respectively in the Division I rankings. Beckman and Redondo Union occupying those 3rd and 4th spots, and Huntington Beach giving chase and trying to close that gap on Redondo Union for that 4th and final automatic qualifying spot for next week. Individually, Carol Dye and Tegan Bivens. Dye representing San Juan Hills, Bivens at Los Osos, trying to move on as individuals. Meanwhile, Casey McCon of Huntington Beach also in that same conversation. But Alana Clark, Jr. at AmeriCosta, now moving on to the airstrip. So Hopkins now in 2nd place, and that is Carol Dye of San Juan Hills, currently in 3rd place with Rena Shai of Arcadia. Shai, an automatic or individual qualifier onto the California State meet a year ago. Bivens still in the top 6 there for Los Osos, trying to hold on to that spot and move on to next weekend. And Kate Perone of AmeriCosta in that next spot. So AmeriCosta with 3 in the top 7. Check that 4 in the top 10. McCon of Huntington Beach looking to make a late push and trying to get into the top 6. And right now, Alana Clark, it's been since that 1 mile mark, she made a move and hasn't looked back, but Hopkins starting to slowly go to close that gap here with 300 meters to go. This is Heat 4 of your Division I girls. Dye of San Juan Hills, Shea of Arcadia. So Arcadia looking to put 2 in the top 3. Nice little advantage kicking off there. Bivens of Los Osos in 5th place, just ahead of the young lady from Rhone of AmeriCosta in 6th. And Arcadia now with 3. So Arcadia and AmeriCosta living up to the rankings here. They're going to be neck and neck as we kind of conclude this thing. This is Heat 4, but Alana Clark, she'll be your individual winner here in this 4th and final section of the Division I prelims. And coming through at 18:28. Hopkins cruising in. Shea. And 2 young ladies representing the Apaches coming through at 18:44, 18:45. Carol Dye, she will qualify as an individual and finish in the top 6. Perone of AmeriCosta, that'd be 2 there for the Mustangs. And coming up there in 6th, Tegan Bivens. She was right up there towards the front at the beginning and held on there. She is going to be an automatic individual qualifier on to next week. Arcadia with their number 3 coming across. AmeriCosta with their 3rd and 4th. And the Alba sisters coming across there for Beckman. So Maricosta and Beckman, your first two squads with 5 across. And Redondo Union seeing their 5th runner come across. And now Arcadia with their 5th across. They're going to leapfrog those squads and move up to 2nd. So Arcadia coming in ranked number 4, Maricosta coming in ranked number 5. And it was going to be a tight battle between Beckman and Redondo Union over those 3rd and 4th spots, and everything looking like it's living up to what they were slated to do. Maricosta and Arcadia. Maricosta with a 9-point advantage right now. Beckman with a 30-point advantage over Redondo Union. And those are your 4 squads that have come across so far. So our boys, Division I, Heat 1. McCorvey, your early leader there, taking that group through the first of 2 loops there on Valley Loop. Check that. They're on their 2nd loop now, almost approaching the 1-mile mark. And Donis of Don Lugo and number 1 Division I ranked Beckman packing up right now and putting 5 in the top 15. And going back and finalizing our action here in the Division I girls, Maricosta, Arcadia, they will easily advance. Beckman girls, very nice showing here at 67 points. And Redondo Union, looks like Redondo Union's going to hold on to that 4th spot right now. They're 34-point advantage there over the young ladies from Huntington Beach. So that'll conclude Division I. 16 squads all slated to go. In that heat, Carroll Dye and Bivens were your individuals to move on. And now we'll get to the Division I boys.
As our Division I boys make their way to the mile mark, we're looking for four heats in this division, which means the first 4 teams will automatically qualify. And then individuals, if they're in the top 6, if the team doesn't make it, they'll get a chance to move on. Also, and next Saturday will be our championship. They go through that first mile at 5:04. McCorvey's in that group. Donis, Apple, Burke, Daniel Reza, Chafee right up in it. Gabriel Rojas of Lakewood, Masanara, Anderson, and then Beckman, the top-ranked team in the state in this division, running very well, running as a group conservatively today. All their runners, Barris, Barrera, Tenorio, Said, all right up in that group. And they all go through that first mile. There are, oh my, there are 30, make that 40, 45 boys within 4 seconds of each other at the mile. So needless to say, we've got a pack. Isaiah McCorvey of Lancaster pushed that pace a bit to break open our group here. Starting to move pretty well as he goes through here. And the Golden League champion pushing the pace. Daniel Reza of Chafee and Isaac Donis, both of the Mount Baldy League, running well together in 4th and 5th. And it looks like running right with McCorvey, his teammate Burke. They've gone out well at the mile. Good team battle here. Beckman and San Clemente solidly in control of their spots. It went through with 52 and 83 points. And then it is a group of folks. We've got Segerston at 120, Alicia Nagel 140, Downey 148, Lancaster 149, Chafee 170, Milliken 179. In 3 through 8, a great battle. McCorvey, though, pushing the pace now, just about to drop into the alley, heading into the crossover here. McCorvey was the Division I sweepstakes champion here, individual sweepstakes in the invitation, ran 15:08 here. He is leading that group. Here comes the big pack. Looks like Donis and Reza. Donis of Don Lugo, Reza of Chafee. They are running 3 and 4, and then all of the San Clemente and Beckman boys running in that large bubble right there. Reza and Donis leading that group. And Gabriel Rojas of Lakewood right up in there. Large bubble right in the middle. Corby pushing it up the saddle, pushing it hard up the saddle there. He and his teammate Dalton Burke also right with him. And McCorvey now has made it over the saddle and is heading to the back of Reservoir. His teammate hanging right there, Dalton Burke. They're going 1-2. And the second heat of Boys Division I getting ready to start. Beckman and San Clemente certainly in control in their team races. Beckman, the actual individual champions. They're the course record holders as a team here in the Mt SAC on this new course that we're running today. And McCorvey goes through the 2 mile at 10:28. Burke second, 10:34. Donis and Reza go through in 3 and 4. And all of the Beckman boys and the San Clemente boys, the Orange County conglomerate, they're running together. Donis 10:42, Reza 10:43. Apple of Huntington Beach hanging tough right there at 10:44. And then locked right in there with the Beckman and San Clemente boys is William Asanya of Cyprus. And Rojas of Lakewood in 15th, but Beckman and San Clemente, both of them with all 5 of their scorers in the top 20. Lisa Nagel running very well. Also Milliken and Downey. Milliken moved up very well on that second mile. And McCorvey pushing that pace up the hill. Downey, Segerston, and Chafee and Milliken all battling for that 4 spot. Lisa Nagel very strong running in 3rd right now. Milliken, Downey in 4th, Milliken 5th, Chafee in 6th, and Segerston in 7th. But as we move up the hill, McCorvey just about to crest over Reservoir as the leader, and he is opening up. As of right now, those first 6 spots, if none of those boys have a team in the top 4, all trying to hold on to get one of those spots, Tenorio Beckman would be in 6th. He would have the team spot also, but 5 individuals looking to move on if their teams don't. McCorvey goes over the top of Reservoir in the lead. and continuing to push. Burke, his teammate, trying to hold on to second here. The Golden League champion, two-time Golden League champion, McCorvey, though, comes down off into the saddle now with that lead. And McCorvey has opened up a rather large lead now in the saddle, just about to hit the airstrip. And Heat 2 has begun now. They're just going into the Valley Loop as McCorvey comes on to the airstrip. Here he comes now. Isaiah McCorvey, the senior out of Lancaster. As we mentioned, we have our final 4 races of today. We'll be back here tomorrow with divisions 2, 3, and 4. The next Saturday for the championships. Hopefully you'll join us for our championship and qualifying for the state meet. Then we go up to Fresno for the state meet Thanksgiving week and come back for the Foot Locker Western Regional. And now there are about 1,600 kids registered for the Foot Locker meet. First 2,500 do get Hoka backpacks. So if you want to register and run that, you get to run poop out and you get a backpack. So you might want to go to Foot Locker CC and do that. And now coming under Bader Bridge, just about to come onto the track. Here he comes. Isaiah McCorvey is running an outstanding race. We're at 15 under 14:30 here as he comes onto the track. Somebody close to what he ran at the Mt SAC Invitational when he was the individual Division I sweepstakes champion at 15:08. The only one on the track so far in a good field. We'll see how these individuals can hold on to their spots. That's Burke now, also of Lancaster, coming on second. Here comes Donis of Don Lugo, Reza of Chafee, and then the Beckman and San Clemente committee meeting going on as they come in 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and go on. Reza and Donis in 3 and 4. The first 6 automatic qualifiers, if their teams don't move on. Burke in second, Donis in third, Reza in fourth. Coming down the finish, so here comes McCorvey. McCorvey's going to be our winner at a very relaxed, a very easy 15:35. And looks like Lancaster going to go 1-2. Donis, the Mount Baldy League champion, coming in the yellow in 3. Reza in the bright orange of Chafee in 4th. And here come all the San Clemente and Beckman boys. And looks like Reza will hold on to that 6th individual spot. Beckman, obviously, with its 5 across San Clemente. We're at 16:35. Milliken moved up very well over that last mile, as well did Downey and Elisa Nagel. They've all got 5 finishers. San Clemente and Beckman out front. Only 2 more spots after San Clemente and Beckman. And on Heat 2 in that boys, they went through the mile 4:57. Faysad of Barracosta leading the group. Dorado of Cajon, Jubak of Trujillo Hills, Chandler of Riverside Poly, Abdallah of Tribuco Hills, but virtually everybody right in, just like the last race. Big group going up the switchbacks now as our boys in our first heat continue to finish, and we're still only at 1740 right now. And this is going to be very close for the team race here. Beckman's going to make it for sure, and so will San Clemente make it to the CIF-Southern section finals. Milliken and Downey are virtual dead heat for third and fourth, with Lisa Nagel right now just 3 points back, and then a little bit of a gap to Chafee and Segerstam. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Right now, Milliken will have that third spot, Downey, and then Elisa Nagel. But we still only had 7 teams with 5 finishers, so until everybody has their 5 across, those scores will change. And the boys now in that large group making their way down from the top of the switchbacks, just about to make the U-turn, head behind the stadium in Heat 2. So those scores look to be pretty solid now in Heat 1. So it looks like Beckman and San Clemente, they have the first 2 spots, and it looks things are not changing much now. Milliken in that third spot. Downey looks to be the 4th qualifier. Then Elisa Nagel, Lancaster, Chafee, and Segerstam. Jubak leading Tribuco Hills down the hill in that second heat of the boys. And his teammate Abdallah on his outside shoulder. Here they come, Jubak and Abdallah. Chandler of Riverside Poly right with it. Koopman of Rancho Cucamonga up in that group. And Luke Lopez of Roosevelt. That's the top 5 boys at the crossover. Looking at the team scores now, everybody was pretty much in it at the mile, but Miracosta had 44, Tribuco Hills 60, Riverside Poly 76, Roosevelt 133, Rancho Cucamonga 135, Yucaipa 150, and Warren 155. That was at the mile mark. And that group of 5 now heading up the saddle together. And Heat 3 getting ready to go on the airstrip. And if you want to know how these races compare, you can watch HD Runners again tomorrow, where our divisions 2, 3, and 4 will be racing. And then everybody comes back next Saturday for the championship. We hope you'll join us right here at Mount San Antonio College for the CIF-Southern Section Ford Cross Country Championships. 5 divisional champions on the boys' side, 5 on the girls' side, and then qualifying 70 teams up to the state meet up in Fresno on Thanksgiving weekend. We got a great shot on that backstretch of those 5 boys all together. Jubak and Abdallah running side by side, but tucked right in there. Micah Chandler, Riverside Poly in there. And Nolan Koopman of Rancho Cucamonga and Luke Lopez of Roosevelt. That's our big 5 heading down the back of Reservoir. They have separated a bit from the group, just about coming up to the 2 mile. And they go by the 2 mile at 10:24. Jubak, Chandler, Lopez, Abdallah, and Koopman. That was the 5. They're hanging tough. A little bit of a gap, about 7 seconds back. Ramon Dorado of Cajon, Faisnad of Miracosta, Sandoval of Warren, and Carson Williams of Trabuco Hills. That's the top 9. Hanson rounds out the top 10. Jace Deladon of Riverside Poly in 11th. Bello of Trabuco Hills, Amon and Desai of Miracosta, and then Santa Benez of Warren rounds out the top 15. Trabuco Hills and Miracosta, the first with 5. Both of them have all 5 of their scores in the top 20 at the 2 mile mark. Jubak and Abdallah making a little bit of move. They've made the turn and starting up Reservoir, and the teammates from Trabuco Hills pushing that pace a little bit. Chandler staying close, Koopman and Lopez, they're hanging tough here. We're about halfway up Reservoir now. When they get to the top, they have just about 1,000 meters to go once they hit the top of Reservoir. Jubak opened up a little bit of a lead now, coming downhill on Reservoir. Abdallah in second, Chandler in third, Lopez in fourth, Koopman in fifth. And Jubak opening up now, just about to hit the saddle. Looks like Luke Lopez of Roosevelt now running well and moving up again, trying to get up into that group there. Chandler. On to the airstrip. Here they come. Dylan Jubak as our leader in that race, and Abdallah still going 1-2. And heat number 3 now heading down the airstrip on their way on the Valley Loop. Into the gauntlet, though, Jubak and Abdallah still pushing the pace, trying to give Trabuco Hills a 1-2 finish. And now, just about to come on the track, Dylan Jubak of Trabuco Hills. The senior has opened up a little bit of a lead. Looks like Aiden Ramirez of Cone kind of pushing that pace there on that third heat. Now coming on to the track here, that's Jubak's teammate Abdallah in second. Lopez in the orange of Roosevelt. Koopman in the white of Rancho Cucamonga, and right in between them, Micah Chandler in the green of Riverside Poly. And Carson Williams of Trabuco Hills has moved up well and given Trabuco Hills now 3 in the top 6. Jubak coming into the home stretch, 100 meters to go. And he is running a fine time. We're at 15:15. Chandler now has moved into that third spot. but it'll be, the win will go to Jubak in our qualifying heat. And Zayed Abdallah coming second, but finishing strong here. Micah Chandler of Riverside Poly, Luke Lopez of Roosevelt, and Nolan Koopman. In that sixth spot is Carson Williams of Trabuco Hills. Ramon Dorado of Cajon will get seventh at 51. Isaac Faisonot of Miracosta 54, 15, 54, and 8. Joaquim Sandoval of Warren ninth at 16:02. Carson Eman of Miracosta and his teammate Ian Hansen, they go 10 and 11 for Miracosta. Miracosta's top five runners separated by just 18 seconds on that group, and they have the first with 5 across the line. In that team score, Trabuco Hills, Miracosta, fine. They're going to move on. Right now, it looks like Riverside Poly's got a great chance to move on. Then it's going to be a battle here now. Very close. Roosevelt right now, 112. Ukaipa moved up well, 122. Rancho Cucamonga, 125. Those scores are fluid. And as we move on to the third heat, which is now past the mile mark, they're out pretty quick here. We've got 25 boys under 5 minutes at the mile and pushing that pace out front. Max Zavaleta of King, he went by at 4:48. That's about a 6-second lead. Owen Teague of Hammett leading that chase group here. Abafahara of Belmont, Ramirez of Cajon, Hassan of King, Quezada of King, Hassan of Crescenta Valley, Burton, his teammate, and then Pavan of Loyola, Zadorian, and Macias of Crescenta Valley round out the top 10. Team-wise, Crescenta Valley's in the lead at the mile at 39, King at 47, Loyola at 77, Santa Monica at 93, and they're now making their way up the switchbacks. Over the top now, starting to make their way a half mile down to the crossover. Zavaleta in the red of King, and then Teague in the red of Hammett. Then a large group there, very large group. And making the U-turn, heading down behind the East Stadium, Max Zavaleta of King. And now off the hill, heading to the crossover. Here's the junior from King, Zavaleta, the Big 8 champion once again this year. Mt SAC Invitational, he was second this year, ran 15:13. And Owen Teague running very well. Brad Quezada of King now running right on his shoulder. Then the Crescenta Valley boys running in a group. Pavan of Loyola in that group also. And King with all 5 of its scores. And at the crossover, let's see, Crescenta Valley, King, and Loyola. Very strong. Santa Monica holding on to that 4 spot. Beaumont, Quartz Hills, Vista Murrieta. San Juan Hills battling out, heading to the 2 mile. And we've got one more heat of boys to go after this to get us 16 qualifiers. So 16 teams in each division moving on to next Saturday's championship. Zavaleta now on the backstretch, on the back of Reservoir, with a sizable lead over that group in second. King looking to move up after finishing 6th in the Southern section last year and 10th in the state meet. Zavaleta, a big part of that. The Big 8 League champ here, moving well on the backstretch here. And you go by 2 mile at 10:11. That's the fastest so far today, 10:11. Quezada now, his teammate, goes by at 10:25, but Teague right on his shoulder. Then Hassan and Burton of Crescenta Valley, and right with him, Mateo Guerrero moved up very well. He's moved into that 5th spot now. And then Pavan of Loyola, Abafaru of Beaumont, Zadorian and Macias of Crescenta Valley. Crescenta Valley with its 4 first runners in the top 10. Logan Shaw of Northwood in 11th. Logan Carlson of King. Aiden Ramirez of Cajon. Luneta of King. Badgama of Loyola round out the top 15. And those 3 teams, King, Crescenta Valley, and Loyola, easily with the first 5 in that group, they're going to be the qualifiers. Going to be a wide open battle for 4th team by Zavaleta, halfway up Reservoir now. So that 10:11, almost 9 seconds faster than anybody else through the first 2 miles. Zavaleta passing the halfway point up Reservoir now. Zavaleta over the top of Reservoir at 11:52. That's with 1K to go. And Zavaleta now off Reservoir into the saddle. Just about a half mile to go now. And our final heat of the morning has begun, the Heat 4 of D1 boys. Zavaleta, he's coming on to the airstrip, got great speed. He's a 4:08 miler in track, 8:52, 3,200. So certainly got the credentials, but he's just cruising now onto the airstrip. Been leading this heat easily from the mile mark on. Quezada and Teague running in 2 and 3 still. Looks like Hassan and then Pavan and Guerrero. Once again, only the 6. If your team doesn't make it in the top 4, you got to be in the top 6 individuals. So some boys looking to earn one of those spots in that group. And Zavaleta coming on to the track here, right at 14:20 with 350 meters to go. But his teammate right behind, Brad Quezada of King, also coming on to the track, the 2 juniors. And Owen Teague holding on to that 3rd individual spot. Ayan Hassan of Crescenta Valley finishing well. Here comes Pavan of Loyola. Bada Abafarha of Beaumont in the all blue in that 6th and final individual spot. And in 7th, Mateo Guerrero of Vista Murrieta. And Quezada coming home easily here, going to be the winner of this heat. His teammate, Zavaleta leading Quezada at 2nd. Here comes Hassan in the white of Crescenta Valley. Teague from Hemet, he's going to move on as an individual. Pavan leading the Loyola group. And Abu Fahar, he needs to go, but if you're going to hold on to that 6th spot, Zavaleta and Quezada, King go 1-2, Hassan in 3, Teague of Hemet will move on as an individual. Pavan of Loyola gets 5th, Zadorian of Crescenta Valley 6th, Abafaha of Beaumont 7th, Burton of Crescenta Valley 8th, Carlson of King 9th, and Macias of Crescenta Valley 10th. King and Crescenta Valley easily moving on. They've already got their top 5 in. Loyola now, they've got 5 in. The Cubs run well. They'll be in the top 3 teams. So King, Crescenta Valley, and Loyola are moving on. And now we're looking for the 4th team out of this heat number 3. We're still just at 17 minutes here on the clock. And the boys go through right at 4:59 in that 4th heat. Everybody really in it. We got Gump of Great Oak, Nuhat of Valley View, Brown of Great Oak, De La Fuente of Chino Hills, Fonseca of Santiago, Barbary of of Redondo, Ley of Santiago, Mateo Reyes of Chino Hills, and then Redondo with the next 5 runners. So Redondo has 7 boys in the top 15 at the mile. And that large group heading up the switchbacks. In that team battle, it's going to be close. We said the 3 are Crescenta Valley, King, and Loyola. They're in. Right now, we've got Santa Monica at 140, Vista Muerta at 144, San Juan Hills at 155. And it's looking a little bit like it's going to stay this way. Santa Monica looks like it's going to get that 4th spot. That's unofficial, but right now it looks like Santa Monica at 140, Vista Muerta at 144. And our final heat of the day behind the stadium here. This is Heat 4, race 16. Fonseca of Santiago, Nahat of Valley View.
Hey boys, the team wants to take a picture down there.
And Gump running well, and Brown of Great Oak. They make the crossover. Fonseca and Nahat now pushing that pace just a bit, right around 8:20 at the crossover. And looking at the mile times now that everybody's gone through there team-wise, Redondo is out well at 48, Great Oak at 58, Santiago at 81, and then now we've got a real good battle for 4th there. Chino Hills was at 151, Valley View 156. Brandon Fonseca of Santiago pushing that pace, and then just on his left shoulder, Evan Nahat of Valley View, and they're going up the saddle. And Brandon Fonseca, the senior from Santiago, pushing that lead group through, coming up to the 2 mile now. And Evan Nahat and Brandon Fonseca. Nahat of Valley View, Fonseca of Santiago. They go through at 10:28. And then the Great Oak boys, Gump and Brown. Gump is right there behind Fonseca. Nahat, a little bit of a gap, about 5 seconds to Jacob Brown. Then Ethan Kwan of Fountain Valley, Jay Slay of Santiago, Gavin De La Fuente of Chino Hills, Pascua of Redondo, Barbary, Montoya, Figueroa, Divinity, Sanchez, and Vaughn. All 7 of the Redondo boys running in 8 through 14. That is a team gap of 1.3 seconds of 1 to 7. And Nahat now making a bit of a move, heading up Reservoir. And Nahat making his way up. Fonseca staying close. And Christian Gump right there with him as they go over the top. Gump now moving into second. So right now, Nahat, Gump, and Fonseca. Nahat in that tough Ivy League, 1/10 of a second out of being league champ. Chandler of Riverside Poly got the win. Nahat right there at lean back in second. But he's looking great here. Fonseca, Nahat, Gump, and Fonseca. And Nahat using that downhill now, coming off Reservoir. Nahat now onto the airstrip. Less than a half mile to go. Fonseca back into second now. And we got a great battle here going for that team spot here. Redondo and Great Oak, Santiago all look good. And then Valley View and Chino Hills at 2 miles, virtually a dead heat, separated by 2 points. So we're looking for Valley View and Chino Hills, and having Nahat up front really helps Valley View's case there. 1 point to start the scoring is always helpful. He's now just about to make the turn into the gauntlet. And Nahat continues to pick up that pace. And now coming on to the track, here he is, Evan Nahat of Valley View. Comes onto the track as the leader. It's like Gump of Great Oak in second, and then Fonseca of Santiago, Brown of Great Oak. And then here goes the battle for that 6th individual spot. Looks like Ethan Kwan of Fountain Valley into 5th. And then the red wave down the backstretch, trying to set a CF record for the smallest time gap of 7 runners. Redondo Here comes Nahat coming down the stretch. Looks like De La Fuente trying to hold on, but here comes Lay now. And Quan of Fountain Valley. It's going to be a battle, that 6th spot. Oh my. We'll wait for the photo. All right, here come the Redondo kids. And that gap is no gap. And that great finish there, nice to see. Gavin De La Fuente got that 5th spot from Chino Hills, and Ethan Kwan of Fountain Valley that 6th spot. So they will move on as individuals. And Redondo obviously has 5 runners across. Great Oak has 5 finishes, so Great Oak and Redondo look pretty solid. Looks like Santiago in good shape. It'll be neat to see who this 5th and 4th spots end up being. And Santiago officially now with 5 across. Chino Hills is the first team other than those 3 with 5 runners. They got 79. We'll see how this plays out. Valley View's got 5 now. And while we watch this play out, I want to thank all the folks from the CF. Keith Chan did a great job here, and all the volunteers and all the workers on your way out. Maybe a high five and a thank you to all the folks from the CF. Back here tomorrow, 7:30. So we'll have the divisions 2, 3, and 4. But even more importantly and more enjoyable, a week from tomorrow, the CIF-Southern Section Ford Cross Country Championships right here at Mt SAC. And the 4 teams that are going to join us from this final heat, Redondo, Great Oak, Santiago. Looks like Chino Hills is going to get that 4th spot. Right now they're staying steady at 110, Valley View at 121.